Hello, everyone, and welcome to Critical Role, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons and get the somewhat adjusted, altered countdown to us going live. It's great. Yes, welcome. We have just a couple of announcements to do tonight. Nothing too long and crazy.
Mine's really long, man.
Okay, Sam's is really long. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get us into our wonderful sponsor for tonight, Loot Crate. Thank you so much, Loot Crate. Sam, if you want to tell us a little bit about Loot Crate.
Guys, Loot Crate, the theme of this month is magical. Brands included Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts, and Where to Find Them, and more. Please make a special call out to the below Doctor Strange Q-Fig Loot Crate has announced will be in this month's crate. I just did. But tonight I've prepared, because we all need just some theater today. I've prepared for us a small radio play. Each of you to read a part in.
Pass it down,
Pass it down. Keep passing it down. I didn't know Ashley was going to be here, so Ashley, you can read with Travis. You are both.
Sam.
You're both doing it together.
The first line.
Guys, calm down.
It's a whole thing.
Here we go.
Oh, this is a lot. Wow.
It's sort of a Dust Bowl type of a play. I wrote a play. Okay.
All right. Do I have to say
Yes,
this?
you do. Okay, come on. Guys, okay, I'll be reading stage direction. Taliesin is playing Junior. Marisha is playing Mama. Liam is Pa. Laura is playing Sam Regal. And Travis and Laura are Travis and Ashley are the radio sound effects duo. Okay, let's see how this goes. August 1929, the Badlands, South Dakota. Lights up on the McAllister farm. Mama, a sturdy country woman, comes in from the windy, dusty farm and slams the door.
Junior, get your slowpoke molasses ass down here.
Little vibe.
Oh, that's me. Enter Junior, a simpleton, down the stairs. Good sound effects, guys.
It's kind of big, isn't he? All right.
He eats a lot.
Sorry I didn't do no chores, Mama. I'm a simpleton. What are you doing to me?
You'll be sorry when I run this cat of nine tails over your rear end.
Yeah, good sound effect.
It ain't my fault. School was late because teacher Sally died.
Come on, project! Project!
Come on, Taliesin, you're a
It ain't
teenager!
my fault. School was late because, well, teacher Sally died this evening before last.
Not sweet Sally. My rear end, I'm gonna miss her. What did her in?
Enter Pa, a drunk. He smashes a beer bottle against the family cat.
Oh, you're not the sound.
There you go.
Oh, same thing that kills us all around here. Dust poisoning. As we all know, the dust bowl is full of radioactive dust that melts your face clean off of the bone.
It's true. And dust Ebola is the second leading cause of death in the Dust Bowl. My rear end just can't stand this dusty dust.
It should be
Deadly
noted.
dust.
It should be noted that the playwright did no historical research on the Dust Bowl.
Disclaimer.
Junior.
Here, Ma, I found your bagpipes to play at the dust funeral.
Good sound effects.
It's actually kind of better than real Scottish viewers at that point.
Better than your
Oh,
war
Lord, what will we ever do with this dust?
Enter Sam Regal, a strapping traveling salesman from the big city, played by Laura.
Hi, folks. Handsome Sam Regal here. Only thing more handsome than me is this here loot crate
Bigger smile.
featuring XXX.
I was supposed to put in actual stuff. Promo link, lootcrate.com/critical role. Keep going.
And also, once you enjoy the geeky gear inside, you can use the box to clean up, well, all this dust.
Can it be a box that can cure our woes and pick us up back onto our dusty rear ends? What's with
Hooray! And so the McAllisters used a dusty old vacuum cleaner and their loot crates to clean up all the dust in the Dust Bowl, thus saving their farm and the American dream.
Holy shit.
Wow.
It keeps getting better.
I'm a playwright, guys.
Better.
You are.
Somehow better than Carnival. That was really great.
On the fly rewrites
Wow.
there.
And you know, based on our viewership tonight, it's a pretty good opening night. Far better than most playwrights.
Thank you.
So well done, Sam.
Good sound effects, guys.
Yeah,
Bug
that's good sound
system.
effects.
Oh, God.
Awesome. Wow. Next up, we have a quick announcement that a special guest is going to come in here and tag me out. We have Brian Foster. Go ahead and tag him.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Man, it's been a Chris Hard week, hasn't it? There's just a giant note here that says "Kill Grog." What? He's gotten too powerful. I'm supposed to read that. All right, so we're going to talk about Vox Machina, which is the new Critical Role after/talk show. We've all been working on this along with a lot of people at Geek and Sundry for a super long time, so we're super excited about it. It's going to start this Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can watch it on Twitch for the first 4 episodes, and then those are going to be available on VOD for Twitch and on the Geek and Sundry website. You can also watch it on a website called projectalpha.com. We're going to have 2 or 3 members. We're going to have 2 or 3 members of the cast on every single week, mostly from this cast. We're also going to have celebrity guests, previous guests from Critical Role. We're gonna let him back out. We're gonna let him back out, and we're also gonna have some super fans that are gonna be able to be on the show. We're gonna get all dirty and nerdy. We're gonna talk about the previous week's episode. We're gonna give away prizes every single week. We're also going to have the near impossible task of picking out your fan art and GIFs. I said GIFs because GIF just sounds so mushy.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's
GIF.
It's GIF, right? Yeah,
Living language.
GIF.
We get
Okay.
Living language we decide.
It's been decided and decreed, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what we need from you. We're going to give out a bunch of Critical Role merch. We're going to give out a bunch of D&D merch. We're going to give out stuff from our friends at Wormwood.
Yay!
We're going to give out, it says here, a shirtless picture of Travis Willingham riding a mechanical bull.
Oh.
The photo shoot is still TBD.
Oh, I see. Yes. He's waiting for an open tanning bed. Because we get so many, there's so many thousands of tweets every Thursday night that go out about this amazing and weird and horrible show. We are asking that if you guys want to tweet a question for us to ask the cast live on the air, we're asking that you tweet at Vox Machina, which is the official Twitter handle for our show, and use the hashtag #AskVoxMachina, because that way we can track them, make sure we get as many of your questions as we can on the show. Send your fan art and gifts to voxmachina@gmail.com anytime between Thursday nights during the show and Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're trying to feature fan art and gifts from each week's episode, since we're going to be talking about those episodes on the show on Tuesdays. So send those in. That's it. We're going to see you guys this Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Twitch and projectalpha.com. Until then, it's high noon.
Fix your mic there, man.
Look at the jaw, it's so far out.
Motherfucker. Didn't get enough of that at BlizzCon this past weekend. Okay, then. Thank you, Brian Foster.
That guy's hot. Yeah. Is he single?
No,
He's taken, unfortunately, by
she's a real win.
you. All right, so anyway, we have one more quick announcement. Liam, if you want to take over for this one.
Well, it's not really an announcement. I'm just a willing accomplice with one of my favorite artist buddies. Sedona Parnham has sent something she has made specifically for Sam Riegel.
Oh, me? Oh, why?
So it was sent to me on the sly because you're so dear to all of us.
Is it a radio play?
So charming. And now you will be well rested. Please accept
Oh,
this
I'm
gift.
so excited.
What is this? Do I read it?
No, I
Do I
read
Just
it.
read.
Just open it up and show us all what you find.
Oh my.
Yes.
It's a pillowcase.
Oh, it's
a pillowcase.
It's size appropriate.
it's a size appropriate love
Oh my god.
My God.
The chest hair, the nipples.
That's
it's got
adorable.
It all, guys.
He's so cute.
That's pretty damn brilliant.
This is 400 count Egyptian cotton here.
There is only one other copy of that pillowcase, and it is mine.
Gross.
Wait, are we going to be
It all makes
sleeping on
sense.
the same pillows at night?
Gross.
Yeah, I mean, we need a blanket as well. That's in the works.
Out there.
Someone sing a prayer.
We're in different parts of the song.
That's
I know.
okay.
For all audience members that are under the
I
age
was
of
already
25,
like
you have
leaning
no idea what we're
American
singing.
Tail. I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
how that happened.
Yeah, go watch American Tail and Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was from
good
Sedona, who is known as @Anodesu. On Twitter, she's done a ton of great art for the show. She's one of my favorites. She's a buddy now. That's it.
There you go. Awesome.
Boom.
Well, thank you guys. Unless we have anything else to kick it forward, I think we jump back into the chaos of the city of brass and the elemental plane of fire on tonight's episode of Critical Role.
Quick bone.
Hello, and welcome back, everyone. Sorry, you waited too long, Johnson. So, last we left off, Vox Machina slowly making their way towards the final confrontation with Thordak, the Cinder King, as well as the end of the Chroma Conclave, hopefully, or the end of Amon and Taldore as we know it, one way or the other. You found yourselves preparing Fort Doxio for some sort of a plot to draw Thordak out. In the process, you took the rest of your intrepid adventurers to the fire elemental plane in search of the final vestige that you had referred to yourself via the Endro Sphinx, not earlier in your adventure. Upon arriving here, you spoke with a number of Ifrit that ran the outskirts of the city of Brass, entered, found yourselves immediately traced and followed, and discovering that the society here is, very different than ones that you're used to. You managed to barely escape a confrontation in an alleyway with two Ifrit. You escaped on the path of two seemingly recent-made allies for the time being, led into their establishment in which jewelry is crafted, and with a plot to hopefully find whoever this fire giant is that holds onto the plate of the Dawn Martyr. Many of you allowed chains to be affixed to your neck and wrists, so you could pass as slaves in a society where they're relatively normal under the Ifrit that run the city. And your new friends, Senokir and Uten, are to help guide you in the direction of the next part of your venture. So, picking up where we left off. You guys have been led out into this main street, watching the giant lava fountain that pours out into this kind of deeply carved pit in the center of the ground. You see flickers of flame that occasionally burst out between the various bits of stonework that make up the floor in the center of the streets here. Looking up into the sky, you can see the kind of deep, reddish orange hue of the skyline and one burning hot sun in the sky that doesn't seem to move from its position, but just grows slightly dimmer as the day goes on. You all let out into the street with Senokir and Uten leading you out into the main area. Senokir turns back to the rest of you, this slight half smile on his face. So, we are to find our way to the first giant you requested. This was the one named Wasa. Is that correct? Then,
Yes.
let us find our way to the Zenith Forge, where he does most of his work.
Forge?
Zenith?
Zenith Forge. Now come, follow me. He tugs the chains with a sudden burst and kind of pulls you along. As you begin walking, he begins to talk about how Wasa is one of the few giants that still maintains the privilege of freedom. There was a coup within their people a few years ago, seemingly orchestrated by some of their own. As such, most of the fire giants in the city either were cast out or were placed in chains. And the few that remain, one of which you'll speak with on this day, is one of the ones that sold them out. So, I hope you have your questions ready.
Yeah, for you, shitloads.
Shh!
Sorry.
Don't talk to your master in public.
That was hot.
I really feel like you're working some shit out here.
Do we have a safety word?
You did not establish one.
Oklahoma.
You're led through a multitude of streets led along the outside of this large place that he points out, that he refers to as the furnace. That is where the chocolate palace exists in the sultan of the entire city. We won't be going there.
The chocolate palace?
The chocolate palace.
The chocolate palace?
The chocolate palace. You're listening. You're not supposed to speak.
Sorry.
Chocolate?
Charcoal.
Like charcoal.
Oh, charcoal.
Charcoal palace.
Charcoal.
Charcoal.
Charcoal?
The air itself here, as you're spending more time outside, and the interior of these buildings aren't meant to detract heat or cool off either. Most of the, not all the denizens here are well tempered against the heat. And as you guys are being dragged along, I need all of you who do not have fire resistance to go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw.
I feel like
I'm a master of a good burn. Does that give me fire?
Nope. So I
like
think
because
you don't
I-
have to worry about it.
because of my shield, do I have?
I had cast fire resist on
Yes.
me.
How long does that
It
last?
lasts an hour. Has it been an hour?
It's been about an hour now, so that's
I'll
bad.
recast.
Okay.
I'm going to do a reroll.
Saving throw? Or
Saving throw, yes. Constitution saving throw.
20. Oh, sorry.
That's better.
Am I allowed to inspire myself on a saving
I
throw?
got an off.
Only on ability checks, sorry.
11.
11, okay.
16.
All right.
Oh,
Dex.
15.
All right.
7.
Hey.
I burned to
27.
death.
All of you manage, for the most part, to resist the heat. The sweat's beginning to become more of just a prevalent downpour across your face. Pike, you take a point of exhaustion.
Oh no.
I'm just feeling so tired.
So you're currently at disadvantage on ability checks.
The heat makes you lethargic.
I'm very familiar with that.
Well, it does.
Yeah. Travis can work you through the exhaustion levels.
Yeah.
Heading past the buildings and concerts, you see these spires that come into these kind of rounded point towers, all made from some colored glass, some dark greens and blacks. You begin to see there are deep, carved and well-manufactured waterways, or what would be considered waterways in other cities, except here, the actual molten lava from the Sea of Fire pours through. So there are large bridges that lead over these constantly bubbling and churning long aqueducts that are just filled with molten rock.
In the ground or raised? Or?
In the ground. Similar to how you see most city aqueducts constructed, except for the Sea of Fire spills into them. And even going over theirs, it's uncomfortable as the heat grows astronomically as you pass over each bridge, and the air itself becomes more sulfurous, and so you find yourselves coughing autonomically as the fumes reach your lungs. You begin to pass by.
We're walking out in public at this point, right?
Yeah, you've been.
And there's people about, other beings about.
You do. You see, as the sun, and you've been here for 2 hours now, so you have some time. It's still very busy in the city, and as you pass by, you see many Ifrit, just on their own business. Some coasting at different levels of height. Some just kind of traversing through. Occasionally, you come across what look to be strange, horned, devil-like entities that walk in clusters.
So, question, because I put on the Ring of Invisibility before we left.
Yes.
But Sinokir, I think, might have chuckled when I gave my sister a wet willy. So as we're walking, and I've got the ring on, as we pass people, I'm doing this, and looking to see if anyone is reacting to that.
No one else reacts except for Sinokir. Who kind of just looks back towards you and goes,
Oh, God, that face.
He can
Oh
see.
no, he's so weird. I can hear you moving around me.
Blends in with the sulfur, I didn't get.
being led through the street, you eventually see what appears to be two large, lithe, kind of gray-fleshed creatures that stalk by with these large hooked tails that bend over in front. You can see barbs sticking out of parts of their body, and they kind of move in clusters of 3 or 4.
Wait, were they walking on 2 feet or?
2 feet. They're bipedal, and they're just stalking through.
With like big ass scorpion tails?
It kind of resembles that. The more you push into the city, the more diverse the populace becomes, and you do see the occasional human, the occasional elf, not being subjugated, though they do usually carry some sort of a bodyguard or a handful of servants at their side as well. But you do see devils walking amongst the people here, and many Ifrit that are all walking the streets with large scimitars at their side, and with what seems to be a uniform long silk vest of a dull gray kind of charcoal pattern, and it looks to be a pendant that hangs around their neck that just constantly churns with a flame, and it's uniform for each of these. And you get the sense as they walk around singularly or in pairs that these probably act as the patrol, as the guard of the city.
Those that are walking around that don't like have a bodyguard and don't seem to be enslaved, are they still wearing that white and gold cloaky thing that our strange bit is wearing?
No. They're very diverse in their attire.
Really?
You get the sense that at least the outfits they're wearing is just their signature outfit. But you also have a hard time grasping what the cultural intricacies are of the city of Brass, being that you're Grog.
Hey, man.
As you're passing by these various aspects, do you have a question?
Oh, I just wanted to whisper. Vax. Can you pick these locks as we're walking?
Yeah.
Do it then. Subtly.
I will stealthily pick my sister's locks.
Okay. As you guys are walking past, and at this point, Sinokir is talking, and he mentions off to the side, he's like, "We are now passing the Street of Artisans in the city market. This is what we call the Pyraclum. This is where we're going to find Waska. This is where we're going to find the Zenith Forge, and hopefully the end of your journey. And we can work out the specifics later." As this is happening, I need you to go make a sleight of hand roll.
Get behind Grog.
Sleight of hand.
My luck, that's okay.
God!
I'll luck it. That's.
Oh,
It
God.
doesn't matter, it's 20.
Okay. Go ahead and make a lockpicking check.
Okay. Okay, that's fine as well. That's 25.
Okay. It takes you the better part of about 4 or 5 blocks to very carefully walking with your sister, keeping in pace with her gait, making sure not to rustle the chains or anything to distract Sinokir or Uten as they walk along. And Uten's being very, very careful with his watch, not just on you, but just the city overall. It's not like they're, honed in on you per se, but very observant of the atmosphere. And you get the sense that Uten definitely, as far as the partnership goes, seems to be the more paranoid of the two of them. However, as time goes on, you eventually feel the gentle release of the lock on one of her arm manacles, then slowly the other.
As I trail backwards behind her, you hear, "Twins, motherfucker!"
As you begin to approach what looks to be a large, black and gray building built from heavy, heavy stones.
Can I talk to Utan a little bit while we're walking?
You picking your nose right now?
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. From over here, it was like,
It's a scratch, no pig, no pig.
So, do you play tour guide often to newcomers in this town?
Utan at this point just goes, "It is not often that we take newcomers under our wing like this. Usually they are either customers or, well, to be arrested shortly. So no, this is probably the first tour we've given. In fact, Sinokir seems to strangely enjoy it.
Playing tour guide?
Apparently. And
Yeah,
he kind of mentions over, and Sinokir at this point, other hand is out, and it's like, and around this way you can see the Venstral Spire, which is a wonderful craft fair that happens once every 2 weeks. And Utan turns back to you.
He's just like making shit up as he's walking through.
Seems he has quite a love for the city of Brass. How long have you all been residents here?
Well, we've been in business together for about better part of 10 years. I've only been here about 12. It was a very dangerous scavenge to begin, but at least the laws of the normal world do not apply here. I have no idea how long Sinokir's been here. Keeps a lot to himself, that one, but I trust him.
And your business mainly deals in...
Fine jewelry. He showed your establishment.
Well as... You mentioned people ending in arrest. Are you bounty hunters?
No. I must admit, our life is not as interesting as you might be expecting, and I'm sorry for that. But I will say, probably should not be talking so much right now.
Oh, sure. Go, slaves! Walk forward. Like you do.
Why are you talking to us like that?
Shut up, slave! And I smack Grog with the flail.
It doesn't physically hurt, but emotionally, there's a scar.
Just forward march.
To be fair, he didn't say Oklahoma.
You never said Oklahoma.
It's dangerous to keep a race car in a red. I'm just saying, I'm a race car and I'm in a fucking red. Perfection.
So, as you continue pushing forward, eventually you come to that gray building. Heavy gray and dark stones. It's large, square in shape, and you see what looks to be an oversized chimney that just bellows out this constant black smoke that just pours upward into infinity. And there are a number of stacks like that throughout the entirety of the city. Hundreds that all eventually bleed together as they all kind of mingle and join into the atmosphere, whatever this atmosphere is consisting of.
Yeah.
The large doors are partially open. They're about 20 feet tall and about 20 feet as wide as well. They themselves are made from a very, very, looks almost like a dark wood. But as you get close, it's just a textured stone. You see a dull light from the inside.
Where are we, Master?
Welcome to the Zenith Forge.
Shit, it is.
So, once we enter, I would have to be the one to ask all the questions, but that would be difficult for us to do. So, the choice is yours. Either we try and find a careful way to funnel questions, or we put our cards on the table and you do the talking.
Well, I can alter myself to look like you. If you can hang back.
You've already looked like Utan
Right.
and other compatriots. You can still speak. I just want to make sure that, well, our slaves don't talk out of turn.
Sure.
Right, have you spoken with a fire giant before?
It's been a while. Since the upset socially, I found it best to not deal with them outside of a customer-patron relationship.
Are they so weird? Are they good conversationalists?
That's a big word.
They're curious.
You seem a little bit nervous. I can't really tell because you're so strange in a wonderful way.
They're sweet little one.
Thank you.
They're very big.
Okay.
And consider that since they kept their freedom, they're probably rather cunning.
Like bigger than him?
You'll see.
Oh.
As he begins to tug the chains and pull you
What
through
questions
the
are we
doorway.
asking?
I guess we just have to ask, like, hey, do you have any cool collections? Do you play cards? Do you maybe have you won a lot? Stuff like that.
Yeah, what's gonna make him give us this thing anyway?
Well,
Do we have
we're
anything
gonna
to
try
give
to.
him?
Aren't we gonna try to steal it once we see it? Or are we really gonna
maybe
try
he's
to
got
purchase
beef
it?
with somebody in the city, and we'll like go out and jack him up if
In
he'll
exchange?
tell us.
In
or,
exchange for that?
Yeah.
Or
It's true.
maybe we can, if we see that he has it, then we can challenge him to a game of cards.
Or maybe.
If we see that he has it, how do we know if he
Yeah,
has
he
it?
might not have it.
You might not have it.
You could also just chat with him, and I could walk over and take it.
Well, what? Maybe he
If we
won't know
see
its
it.
value.
It's
Okay.
a suit of armor.
Do you?
though.
That he can't fit into because he's huge and it's for
You
know,
still have
normal
your locate item.
I do. Oh yeah.
Use it
Okay.
now.
I use it.
Now.
You're going to stop as you're being pulled into the foyer of this building in chains. You're going to begin to cast the spell.
Oh, do I have to stop? I
It's-
can't just do it as I'm walking.
it's a.
Before we
it-
go in, before we go
I mean, you can do it.
in.
It's a visual thing. It's not very.
it is.
We can
Just
hold
is
him.
Sinecure hold?
So 1 moment.
Sinecure? Just
Yes.
We're going to.
hang on. We just a little bit of preparation on
Just-
our end,
All right.
if you don't
then
mind.
decide. I mean, if you wish to.
As he's talking, I
Progress.
start doing it.
Waddle-yacha.
All right. So
Love to give him a
look at
tomato full
object.
of
Yeah.
one ask
It's really quick, and
Okay.
it's you basically have to pull out your component from the side there. It's a little
To my
forked
sleeve.
twig, and you snap it, and you continue the ritual. All right. You concentrate for a second as he's talking, and currently, no, do not sense it.
Okay. But it
Maybe you
lasts
can
for
point
10
in the right
minutes?
Voice in the right direction.
It lasts for up to 10 minutes. Yeah.
It's for. Wait.
1,000. What is it?
1,000 feet.
1,000.
Radius.
How, Seneca,
Yes.
how large is the forge?
Well, here it's a few rooms. It's large enough to house Wasa and his servants to construct the crafts that they are good at.
What do they construct?
As far as I know, arms, armor. You see, fire giants, they find their sense of self-worth in society by their craftsmanship. So, it's a very important thing for some.
Right, yeah. So, like wheels or like weapons? Arms. You said arms.
I said on.
I have a hard time listening when you talk like that.
Would you like me to speak slower?
It might help, you know.
No.
With me,
It's
you
all right.
know.
It's all right.
That's just fine.
So, are you to funnel questions, or do you wish to just ask as a troop?
Let's funnel them.
Funnel them.
Funnel them.
Then decide on your questions now, or covertly speak once we enter. But we cannot stay here in the open and continue to talk long.
Has
Yeah, he
3
takes
questions,
a long time
quick.
to see.
yeah,
things.
has he heard of the Dawn Martyr?
Yep.
We're
No.
looking.
Gonna
We're
come out
looking
for it.
for. We're looking for a suit of armor he may have won in a card game.
Yeah.
Looking.
And maybe he didn't win it, but he's seen it, heard of it.
Right. Has he seen a suit of armor?
Question 2.
That vanished during a card game.
Does he know where it may be?
It has great emotional value.
And question 3, if he doesn't want to tell us where, is there someone that he has an errand that he needs run
Oh, do
in
we mention
exchange
this,
for?
the Sutan bloodline, or do you think they've got like that would be bad blood? Is that bad?
Hey, maybe now we got
I don't know.
bad.
Does Senecure think that would be bad?
Is it a bad idea to mention Sutan bloodline?
I don't know. You see,
Sorry, you just seem to know so much about this fine city.
I know enough. But I don't know of the bloodline specifically. I've heard it. You can certainly inquire within. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's 3.
All right.
Has he heard of him? Does he know where it is? If he won't tell us, does he need an errand run? Sutan bloodline.
Senecure, where are you from? Originally?
Places. These questions aren't pertinent at the moment.
That's true. I was just so curious. You're just so interesting.
Are you flirting?
What?
Thank you. Now, shall we?
Let's. Yes, let's.
Gives a tug on the chain. Leads you guys inside.
Sorry, guys.
Now, the interior, very dimly lit. Thankfully, most of you have some form of dark vision. But this is a heavily, an open, heavy hall where in the distance you can see what looks to be 4 different forges that are burning simultaneously. They're being fed by what looks to be a small trail of the exterior sea of fire, lava that is being funneled into the back corner. Within, you can see there is a large anvil in the center of the room, as well as a number of smaller anvils off to the side. And it appears to be 4 human-sized figures. You can just make out the outline and shadow of them in the darkness. They appear to be human or human-like, and they're in the process of moving things behind. They have troughs of water, so they can go ahead and quench the heated weapons and such. But there at the center anvil, you see this large, hulking figure standing. Dark black leather apron across the torso, currently holding with heavy tongs this large superheated piece of metal, and it just red sparks fly and illuminate the room with one hit. A second splash of light as you see this piece of metal being slowly rotated from side to side. It's beaten into a heavier shape, the dark metal having a bladed edge to it. This actual length of it probably twice the size of Grog.
What's the guesstimate on this fella's height?
I'd say probably in the neighborhood of about 20 feet.
What?
16 to 20 feet from this vantage point.
I guess he's the size of the zombie giants we fought in
Whitestone.
So, it's your go.
Well, you want me to talk first? Yeah, no, okay.
Well, you're the one who wants to ask questions.
No, I got this.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
Thanks, guys.
You got it.
I'm hanging back like behind Percy or something.
Does he have a name? Does this guy have a name, Senecure?
Yes, you've heard it.
Wasa.
Oh, well, Waska.
Was.
Oh, right, sorry.
No,
All right,
it's fine.
sorry. Good day, fair Waska. Strong Waska.
The last hit strikes the blade before the hammer pulls back, and the currently hunched and focused image of the fire giant suddenly pulls back into just standing. You see the glowing iron metal off the side, just kind of gently gliding across the ground and scraping the stone before it comes to rest to the side. The giant stands at its full height. You can now see the heavily red bearded chin of itself, just like gently singed on the edges. The dark gray ash-like skin of the face looks down at you, its eyes kind of glowing with these piercing little red dots through the shadow. Yes.
Hi, I am Keyleth of the Ashari Druids. I was curious if I could ask you a few questions and just take a moment of your time, which I'm sure is very valuable.
The metal blade lifts and smacks into the ground with a resounding ting sound that rings. All of the other individuals working at the forges stop their work and look up.
We promise we can make it worth your time.
The giant looks back. does this with his hand. We could hear the wind resistance across his large, massive arm, and all the rest of the servants gather their materials and begin to finish what they're doing quickly and set them aside. As they begin to go about their, finishing up their business, Wasa takes the large unfinished metal blade and just sets it onto the anvil, puts the tongs down with this heavy echoing clack in this large chamber. The apron gets removed and tossed over the rest of the materials and tools, and walks up. And stands there just looking straight down at all of you, towering over your group, backlit from the glow of the red forge hue behind him.
You may ask your questions.
We are in search of a piece of armor. Something that holds great weight and many legends behind it.
Then I have probably made it.
Maybe you have. It is called the Plate of the Dawn Martyr. Are you familiar with this?
His eyes squint a bit.
I am not familiar with this. I did not make this armor you ask.
I don't believe it is from this realm, but it resides here. It was won by a fire giant as yourself in a game of cards.
A game of cards.
Or some call them card games.
I may know who you would actually be seeking.
Really? That would be phenomenal information.
This information that would lead you to this powerful, legendary, sought-after armor you seek. Is it worth a lot to you?
Well, look, you shouldn't compare it to you or the things you've made, right? I'm sure.
Crosses his arms. You hear the clatter of the metal bracers that he has on kind of clean against each other as his muscles just kind of tense.
Yes, it's very valuable for us to find it. Yes.
Then
he begins to walk over to the side. Grab something in the shadow, and you hear this scraping sound of heavy wood being dragged across stone. As he lifts up and slams in front of you a table. A little bit larger height than you. You can look just above it, but it's a rather large table.
Then make your offer.
I'm assuming you don't want me to.
Jewels.
All right. Do we still have all those jewels?
Ask Senekir what he means.
Hey, Senekir. I look at Waska and I say, let me confer with my other masters. Hey, Senekir, what's you want? What do you think is fair here?
Well, usually as a craftsman, they want something of their craft, perhaps.
Craft? They want something, okay.
Or you could always ask.
Sure, yeah. I'll ask. Waska!
Yes?
In speaking with my fellow masters, we want to make sure we give you something that is fair and desired. Is there anything that you might have on your wish list?
He reaches forward and kind of rummages through a small pouch that's affixed to the side of his belt. When I say a small pouch, small by his comparison, the pouch is about the size of you, Keyleth. And as his fingers kind of dig around inside, you hear the clanging of heavy metal and various other objects slamming into each other as he pulls out some sort of strange small cylinder. He lifts it to his eye and peers through it.
Oh, he's looking to see what we got.
Scans through.
Oh, no. No.
For servants, you all walk with many enchanted, powerful, and desirable affections to yourselves.
You are a very intelligent and observant man.
Puts away the cylinder into the pouch.
Giant respected fire giant.
Offer me some of what you could give up. And should it be worth the information you seek, it will be yours.
Let me once again confer with my masters and enchanted servants. Okay, guys, what do we got?
I've got a ring of lightning resistance.
Got a ring of lightning resistance? Okay.
Well, don't you have a lot of fucking weapons in your bag of holding?
Yeah, what's in the bag
They're
of
just
holding?
normal weapons.
They're not anything good.
There's a great sword of frenzy, but
That's not bad. That's pretty cool. Great sword of frenzy.
I
mean,
yeah, great sword of frenzy, yeah.
that sounds not bad.
Whatever, yeah. And then you said a frostwing?
I've got a ring of lightning resistance.
My war mask, my war
Oh,
helmet.
you've built that thing. No,
Huh?
no, not. Oh, that's right. It's a helmet.
crafted though. It's like, but it's so ugly.
Yeah, but it's like hideous, and they said that they didn't do it very well.
Ooh.
It's inscripted. It's got my title on the inside.
I've got my magic choker.
You're like, it's amazing.
I would put it on
Look, you might
Pinterest.
use it as a
Maybe it's a thimble. We can tell them it's a handcrafted
Cylinder went
thimble.
back into the sack.
That actually is pretty cool.
It did, yes.
How high up is that sack?
It's about...
Don't.
8 feet up.
8 feet.
All right.
That's pretty tall. That's pretty high.
Yeah, you'd have to leap for that, man.
Or
you're not
bust out
you're
your
not
wings.
pickpocketing the giant without some high rolls. Mind you, you can certainly try. I would love for you to try.
Gotta feed those forges with something.
Okay, I have a ring of protection +1 that no one's been using because it's just a ring of protection +1, which is
I have a
good,
ring of
by the way.
lightning resistance.
Ring of lightning resistance.
vestiges.
You want to try this great sword of frenzy?
Yeah, let's do the great sword.
What about the alchemy jug?
No
way.
Of which we have used what?
Doesn't matter. It's
Doesn't
too
matter.
cool.
Awesome.
You eat mayonnaise out of that all the time.
And I have my +1 magic necklace.
Are you using that?
No.
Okay.
Super old stuff.
Let's offer him the
It's
sword.
You hear the
and ring and see where we
heavy
go.
foot taps of an impatient.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the sword.
Yeah.
And the great sword and the ring of lightning resistance and put it on the table.
Someone run that to me real fast, if you don't mind.
Coming.
I'm glad we
Loot
didn't
crate.
sell any
Loot
of
crate
this
for me.
stuff over the
Right.
course of the time.
Yeah.
We only have 7 cash, right?
So you take the big great sword and put it on there, and then take the ring and place it up there with it. Both of his large, meaty fire giant hands grasp the side of the table as he leans down and looks them over very intently. Takes the blade and kind of holds it in his hands.
This is a very good start.
Oh, yeah. Well, lucky you. I also happen to have this awesome magic choker +1.
Choker? Did you offer the fire giant a fucking choker?
You can wear it as a pinky ring.
I also offered him a tiny ring. He's gonna use it.
It's gonna be like a little eyebrow piercing.
As you place it there, you kind of just glance at it for a second, and then the little burning pupils of the giant look up towards you.
It was a strong start. Not a very strong follow-up.
As he leans back up, he says,
Well, wait. That's a 2-for-1 deal because it also comes with this ring of protection. You just hadn't let me get that far yet.
He wants arms. This is all. He doesn't want jewelry. He wants.
Oh, he wants arms. Right. Well, it's a ring of protection. That's cool.
Frost brand?
Yeah, but it's not weapons.
Oh, we don't fucking have
he seems unmoved by the presentation of the ring. He says,
You are to make one more offer.
All right, all right.
If you do not, I will tell the illuminated of the dubious outsiders masquerading as servants. Slaves sent to undermine the rule of the Grand Sultan of the Ifrit, the Lord of the Flame, the potent and incandescent, the tempering and eternal flame of truth, the most puissant of hunters, Marshal of the Order of the Fiery Heart, the smoldering dictator, the crimson firebrand, Maraki al-Sedan al-Harig ben al-Hazen.
God bless you.
So, what is your final offer?
Was that
Vex.
one man's resume?
Yeah, that was one man's name.
Vax, give him all of your vestiges.
Okay. What if we give him? What if we give him some of the dragon scales?
We have something.
What about the black
the dragon?
sapphire?
If we give him a flu.
The dragon.
I mean, we do have dragon scales. We have a fuck ton of dragon scales.
He wants arms. He wants arms.
But he can make. Hang on. Waska.
Oh, here we go.
A great craftsman, such as yourself, deserves only the finest of materials. How about some dragon scales? Dragon hide. White dragon? What kind of dragon hide?
We have white and we have white.
White dragon hide.
One large hand raises up and begins to tug at the edge of his beard.
A lot of white dragon hide. I think we even have a few.
Like a fair amount.
This is a fair amount.
A fair amount.
Leave it.
Just let it go.
Make your offer.
Get it out of the bag of holding.
His finger taps the edge of the table.
Put it on the table, people.
Give him like
He's a
like
giant.
40 pounds of white dragon hide.
Yeah, he needs a lot.
How much is there?
All right.
He's gonna have a big loincloth.
Yeah.
Really big loincloth.
That's gonna be weird.
40 pounds of white dragon hide.
That's what you have.
Okay.
Right? Can we do it like that?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you just kind of gently tan for travel, and you go ahead and unveil and put 40 pounds
I want to
white
make
dragon
sure it's
hide.
like 1, 2, 3,
That's clever.
4. Let me 5, 7, 8. 5 minutes later.
But it's
37.
better if it's one big piece as opposed to a bunch of tiny little pieces.
Well, I'm not.
She got what she got.
Well, you managed to pull all the hide out and present it on the table. There you go.
With flourish, with flourish.
As you finish, Waska's mouth turns into this wide grin as his arms go out and scoop it all to his edge of the table.
Your respect will be remembered.
And he takes the handfuls of it and the sword and puts the rings into the pouch, takes the sword and kind of jams into his belt, takes the hide, and walks over to the side and opens this large chest, throws everything into the side of it, throws there, closes it, and begins to walk over. As he walks away from it, you hear this heavy, this metal click when he's about 15, 20 feet from the chest. He steps to the table.
No.
He then puts his elbows and rests them on the table, putting his hands folded under his chin, leaning forward towards you, and looks over the rest of the troop.
There are 2 other fire giants here. One is Sugan. Sugan, well, was the brains behind our positions. I have this foundry and this forge because Sugan led us against our people. He currently enslaved most of our kin, with my help, and with the help of Jural and her late husband, Kuras. Now Sugan, he currently resides within the foundry itself as a respected chain lord to the rest of his kind. Do not speak to Sugan. You seek Jural. Jural runs a powerful slag mine in the pits. Her home is outside the shrine to Surtur, called the Smoking Hammer Shrine. Look for the spiraling tower of black iron and copper. If there is any problems...
And he reaches back and pulls forward a small, square, metal, looks like an icon. And he flicks it over towards you. It looks like a small piece of copper in his thumb. But as he flicks it in your direction, you reach out instinctively to grab it, Keyleth, and then realize, oh shit, and just at the back of the way as it... roughly the size of like a manhole cover.
It's a ring?
It's a large piece of square metal.
Oh,
you look at it and it has a series of runes that you recognize as being giant and printed into the metal.
This will grant you respect and conversation with Jural, should she show any resistance. Just tell her I gave it to you.
Thank you. I go over and I start trying to pick it up.
Make a strength check.
Come on. Use your legs. Use bend to the knees.
Oh no.
Pull a hammy.
8 total. Yeah.
You can get it a few inches
Or
off the
just
ground.
a check, right? Just a straight check?
Yeah, just with your modifier.
Oh, okay, then 5.
You get it a few inches off the ground before it hits the ground with a resounding clang. Yeah, you almost got your finger, but you're fine.
Do you want me to?
Do you need some help?
Yeah. Come on, beast mode.
Yeah. You're so strong.
Yeah, come on.
I'll give it a try. Just because it's fun. 'Cause you always have grog
Come
to do
on,
it.
Pike. Lift that thing.
Get it.
Do you lift that?
Oh, definitely not. Just doesn't even move. That's a 7.
Between the two of you, given about 5 minutes, you guys can eventually carry it on each side.
You would have to have like a wallet version, would you? like, don't worry about it.
Can we put it in the
Grabs the table and moves it back to the space. You got it.
Grog can carry it. Give it a go.
Our business is done. Good luck. And should you find yourself in any trouble, you never heard my name.
Turns back to the anvil, slowly puts on the apron, and goes right back to work. Ping! Holds the metal over into the large furnace at the side to let it glow to a brighter orange, to a white at the tip, and begins hammering once more as you guys gather the rest of your strength to pull that along with you.
The sexiest fire giant I ever did see.
Who was that?
What?
What? There's this awkward pause. So Waska stops and looks over.
She's touched. Just don't worry about that.
Oh, Waska. Is it okay if I ask one last question?
Depends on the question. What do you ask?
How do fire giants feel about the name, the Sutan blood? Oh wait, I already asked him that. Right?
Wow, this is
Never
really.
mind.
that
Well,
was
never mind. You know what?
framed well.
Been a huge help.
You know what?
You want a fist bump or anything?
Have you heard
Goes
of the
right back to
plate of the Dawn Mark?
Can I like? Is it too late to like roll an insight check to make sure he was like telling us the whole story?
You can roll one now to just kind of gain his
Be like,
current composure while he's hammering a large sword.
Make sure he's out pulling
That's
our shit.
better.
That's pretty good. 25.
He seems focused on his work and cares less about your presence now than he did when you entered.
All right.
How heavy is that thing?
It's really it's more cumbersome. It's awkward.
Right.
You know.
Doesn't have handles.
It doesn't have handles. It's very wide. I can't really.
Like picking up a box.
Yes, exactly. But it's not that heavy. It's not heavy.
You guys are doing a great job with it, really.
Thank you.
Piece of prepackaged IKEA furniture.
Kinda, yeah.
Really to,
Yeah.
How am I? They didn't design this
So-
to fit into a.
As Pike carried along at an angle, because of height difference.
Gotta take a second to switch hands.
Wait.
You walk backwards now. You walk backwards.
No, it's just you bought the new bed frame.
No, you go first. You go first.
I'll go backwards. I'll go backwards.
Turn it over.
Are you okay going down the stairs?
No,
All right,
okay.
As we leave, I just give the saddest puppy stare at that wallet on this side of his belt and just wish upon a star, and then I leave. No.
All right.
That thing's so cool.
You guys make your way
So
out into the main thoroughfare. Senokir turns back. Very well. I know where this shrine is, so just follow me.
Great.
Great.
We will.
Are you mocking me?
What? What are you talking about?
Right. Continue, please. She pulls the chains a little bit. Okay. You are led to the pits. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
An extended period of time to make it towards where the actual mines and the pits are for the next hour or so of walking through the streets.
Big city.
You do, as you're heading in this northward direction, you pass by a series of intersections where a lot of these lava rivers can emerge and splinter off. You can see there are individuals that are actually taking elements of it and carrying off in large metallic buckets. You also notice in the distance one very terrifying looking structure. All the rest have this kind of beautiful, grandiose design to them. There is one that looks like it's made of curved obsidian spikes, like a series of giant clawed hands climbing up over themselves, and it forms this sort of fortress-type bastion in the center of the city. This is on the outskirts of the furnace that you walked past, or saw in the distance and were pointed out when you first left Senokir's establishment. Pressing beyond that, you do notice that there is a very heavy number of nasty-looking devilish entities that seem to be running patrol around the outside of that building. You get the essence that there's it's a very heavy devil presence in the city of Brass.
Do we recognize? Oh, they're just devils.
Devils of multiple kinds, you gather. Many you've never seen before, but they seem to be gathering around and have that same kind of terrifying essence to them. You see some that are humanoid but covered in long chains with hooks at the end, which kind of drag on the ground behind them. You see some that are these nasty little impish-looking creatures that kind of just leap from section to section and usually travel in packs. But they have business. They carry small satchels at their side. And they mingle with the rest of the Efreet and the other denizens of the city unmolested, unbothered, unprovoked.
I wave at a couple.
Don't.
Quietly.
Okay, from a distance, you're not getting too close to this. No one seems to pay mind. Okay.
Seneca, what is that place?
That is the embassy. We shouldn't go by there.
Well, what's in the embassy?
Oh, that's where the ambassadors to the Nine Hells reside.
Oh.
Wow.
Right. 9. That's a lot.
Is it like a city-state? Is it...
They have a diplomatic community.
Seneca, did that exchange go about the way you thought it would?
Sure.
Good.
This guy likes to party.
Our talks mean a lot to me.
Oh my god.
As you continue, eventually you come upon the outside of this beautiful temple that is made of what looks like hundreds of heavy dark iron and metal hammers that are all kind of molded together in this mishmash that forms this giant archway. As you've walked past it, Sunakir pipes up again, and that is the Smoking Hammer Shrine that was spoken of.
Oh.
Which means, and he points over to the right, and there you can see this. It resembles a home that is conical in its advancement. It's thick at the base, and it spirals upward, made of black metallic substance, rough around the edges, like it's just been pushed together, similar to the shrine you saw, but it's this spiral that continues upward, this very thick spiral that quickly tapers off into a point, and you see there are levels to it, and it appears to be openings and windows. This is an abode of some kind, a very massive abode, and to a certain extent, one of the more impressive buildings you've seen in this immediate vicinity.
Big enough for a giant to live in.
Yeah, easily. As you get to the front of the building, there are no windows that lead to the bottom floor. There is one very, very heavy door that is a half circle in shape. You're not quite sure how or which direction it opens, but it is this big, round metal slab that stands there at the front. You do see what looks to be a brass knob in the center of it that is roughly about eye height to you, Grog, and that's the extent of it. As you approach, Sinokir turns around.
So, I believe we found our way to the home of Jural, as you acquired the information about your turn.
Yes, yeah, yes, we know. Sorry, yes.
So, what is your intent here?
Well, gang, I don't feel like we should say the name of the thing that we want.
Probably not.
In case she doesn't know what it is, or
Yeah, it doesn't know
Maybe
its
just
importance.
describe it. I feel like the more we make it seem like it's valuable to us, the more they're gonna ask in return. So maybe make it seem less valuable.
Although
That'd
if
be
she
smart.
won it in a card game and hung it on a wall as a decoration,
She could think it's like a fucking trinket. It could be
Yeah.
like nothing. It
She
could
could
be
think
like
it's like
a
decoration.
candlestick.
possibly, yeah, possibly.
Do I know if giants have any natural enemies, like, that they just hate?
Other giants.
Yeah.
Well, no, they have, depending on the type of giant, many natural enemies, usually that exist within the topography they're used to. You only really know about stone giants up in the cliff keep, and maybe hill giants. Although there is no like specific, sworn vengeful enemies to the stone giants to aware of.
And did he say that Sugan, that being the brains of the two, enslaved other giants, or just enslaved?
You got the essence of it was that there was some large coup where there was a larger free citizenship of fire giants that existed within the city, and through some circumstance, these 3 currently remaining giants basically sold the rest of their kind within the city into slavery or had them ousted, and the 3 that did so and as such elevated their social status and became more powerful figures within the city of Brest.
I think you might have to play him in a game of cards.
yeah.
Yeah. Which?
Wait, Keyleth will?
No, I will not.
Who
We
will?
will as
That's
a
a-
Scanlan will.
That's a
I think
Scanlan
you
or a
should do it.
Percy thing.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Us.
So that's, yeah.
You're a
You two should
hustler,
play,
baby.
And I think that I should be a. I
You
don't want
can-
to do anything. I want you to win this in a game of cards, but I'll be a plan B. They're not going to see me. They're not going to hear me.
Potentially.
We should
Potentially,
also,
probably.
we could, if
You
we
could
have
spy
the
on what their
magic still, we
cards
could
are.
find out precisely where the armor is.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's true. That spell lasts for 10 minutes, the locate item spell.
Yeah,
think
so
it's
I'd have to
already-
cast it again. I only have one more level 2 spell because I don't have very many spells.
I can cast it.
Okay.
Because I shouldn't speak here. Someone else shouldn't.
You did so good, though.
You,
Thanks.
you did.
Or you could go
Oh,
in
fair, fire giant. Fair. All the
strong, I mean.
hammering at an anvil.
what,
20 feet
that's
tall.
what she'd
Oh,
say.
fair.
Oh,
Gentle
fair.
fire giant.
Oh, giants. My fair giants.
Commonly fire giant.
Oh, comely. Oh,
So do we do this spell
Gentle.
when we get up there or now?
I think we.
Do it now because
Do
it's
it
1,000
now.
feet.
Do it now.
I'll cast locate item.
All right. So as you go ahead and pull out your component, you snap the twig.
No
you
one's like
focus.
around and gonna
Boot the
maim
app
me,
up.
right?
You take a moment to wait until there is no immediate,
Okay.
approaching individuals that might see, and it's a relatively,
Quick.
as far as spells go, you have to. It is still. It requires a lot of physical action, but you can keep it condensed.
Right.
As soon as you finish, you feel the immediate glowing beacon of your intent within that structure.
It's here.
Is it on the ground floor, or does it feel like it's above us?
It appears to be maybe 20, 25 feet up from where you currently are.
20, 25 feet
at a kind of angle from this on the inside of the building.
So it's gonna be right on the inside.
Yeah, but
gonna be
can't
hanging on the
climb-
wall.
Can't Vax do some like Spider-Man shit and check out the windows? He's all invisible and stuff.
Can you look in a window?
Of course I can look in a window.
Risky.
Go look in a high window.
Why? If he falls, nobody will see it. We'll just hear it.
Yeah. And then you just pretend like you trip.
Yeah.
Fall on your bum. Yeah, you know how to do that.
Are there really high windows? Yeah.
Yes.
There are no windows on the bottom floor.
On the bottom floor.
But on the second floor up there are, yes.
Okay.
Which is about 40 feet up?
40 feet.
Oh. No, it's definitely on the
It's on
first
the first
floor.
floor. They're 20 feet high.
Yeah.
So what if it's just a really
High up.
massive room?
That's what it is. It's on the
Yeah.
first floor, up high.
No, so let me go.
Huh?
Yeah, dude, this is what you do.
He just said there were windows on the second floor.
I'm already climbing.
Motherfucker.
So what would this just be? Acrobatics?
For climbing, this would be athletics.
Athletics. Dang Bobby. That is...
Dang Bobby.
Yeah, that's a 16.
Dang it, Bobby. All right. Thanks to the rough construction of this this building,
yes.
It isn't too difficult to find handholds. Though there are certain moments where you kind of have to kind of leap and catch to get there. It takes you probably the better part of 15 minutes to eventually get up to that area. And the first opening you see, even though it's a window, it's just like an oval-like porthole in the side of that structure. As you glance inside, getting your arm up in there, you are inside what appears to be some sort of a servant's quarters, but even the servant's quarters are very, very large. It's a simple. You see two beds that are in there, but the beds are 30 feet long, 20 feet wide.
Oh shit.
With what looks to be various hides and furs that have been patched together in this kind of quilt-like fashion, but haphazard in their stitching. Other than that, it's not very pretty.
I think there might be a lot of giants potentially in here at any one time.
You see two very large metallic pissing pots that currently reside at the edge of each bed.
Ew, you could take a swim in it.
You could.
I don't know.
Were you so inclined, you
with.
definitely could.
A hot tub. Hot tub.
That's not a
But nobody in that.
Nobody in that, no.
And are there any other windows along from where I am? I mean, I know they'd be a ways off, but...
It's ways off for the next one, but you can try to climb over if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to go ahead and make another athletics check.
Right. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's 19.
Okay. You slowly shimmy over, while the rest of you guys are kind of waiting.
Just waiting.
As you're sitting there, and you can't see what's happening, you just occasionally see a pebble, like, a little bit of dust fall. Sonoki's like, well, how about we just walk around for a moment so we aren't looking weirdly in public doing nothing.
You're right.
Good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Lead on.
If you think we're looking weird, we should try
Well said. Tugs the chain, and you guys begin to be dragged kind of in a heavy circle around the nearby street.
I just radio up the earpiece to Vax and say, hey, we're gonna walk the block.
Yeah, cool, I'm just hanging.
All right, you kind of leap over, grasping, catch and dangle, lose hand, and for a second get your hand back up there. The soreness is starting to kick in. You're not used to this much physical activity of this type of strength, and it's kicking your ass.
So weak. So weak. So fast, but so weak.
So fast, but so weak. It's already hot here, and the beads of sweat pouring on your face at this point.
I have little like indoor fans, like I'm a baseball mascot. Though.
Yeah, basically. Thankfully, you have fire resistance, so you don't have to worry about the heat getting too much on you. It's more the physical exertion that's getting you.
Yes.
But you do eventually pull over to the next window, and as you get to it, you pull up under the lip, and as you reach out to grab, your hand hits something.
Oh no.
And you look up, and you see that this particular opening has an imperfect, thick glass window, or at least a glass surface that is currently blocking the entrance. Like this is actually a window that is closed.
Is it transparent?
It's somewhat transparent, yes.
Okay, so it's just cloudy, so I can't.
It's somewhat opaque, just because of the nature of its creation. It wasn't perfect glass. It's about that thick,
Wow.
and the entire oval is about It's about 6 feet high and about 4 feet wide.
Oi.
Check for traps.
Sure, go for it. Make an investigation check.
Okay. Ooh, good. 27.
27. All right. This window is trapped. As you glance around, you can see that there is, and it is a window that has a slot in the sides. This is the glass is wider than the window, and it's in a slot that pulls up through chains that you kind of gather would probably lift it from the inside, like a winch that would pull it open or closed. However, just on the bottom, you can see along the edge. God damn it. On the very bottom edge, you can see what looks to be some sort of slight bit of material that doesn't match both the glass or the black and iron structure of this building. It's a kind of a silver-like plate that rests where the glass is down, and as soon as it would move, a weight would shift and something would happen.
Looking at it, do I think that I could disarm it from this side, or is it something from the inside?
It would need to be something from the inside, and even if you were to attempt to do it from the inside, you would have to be at the base of the structure. From this side, it's too big for you to do anything.
Okay.
Really
And I can't
at all.
see shit.
Make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Oh! Which gives you a total of...
Perception?
Yeah.
A total of 32.
32. All right. So as you peer and close your eye on the inside, you see what appears to be another bedroom, similar to the one over there that you just passed by, but this one is exorbitant in its decor. You see beautiful, beautiful, deep red tapestries along each wall that are the full length of it. The bed itself is a canopy bed that is 40 feet tall with just heavy dark silks and fabrics that dangle from it. This is a gaudy bedroom for some sort of a giant.
Any armor on the walls?
No armor visible from this perspective, no. You do see what appear to be small pieces of art. There are other metallic trinkets that are kind of built into the wall, but nothing that resembles armor, unfortunately.
Okay, well, my arms are starting to do this thing.
Yeah, it's bad.
So I'm going to start going down.
I mean, there was a giant velvet Elvis. Just huge.
Okay. So, you eventually make your way down and wait for the rest of your group to turn around. You guys had a nice, awkward walk, just being led quietly through the street. And back around.
Can we be the monks from Monty Python?
As you guys begin chanting to yourselves, Son of Heroes, actually, sure, go ahead. And just keeps pulling you along as you guys chant in whatever phrases you decide to mingle and decide upon. You come back around and you see the rest of them arriving at the door, though they cannot see you. Senekir does kind of glance over in your direction.
It appears that our walk was just enough time. So,
Oh shit, you can see him?
I have my ways, yes.
What kind of ways?
Your brother is a fun character.
He's a dick? Do you mean a dick?
From your standards, yes.
Yeah.
Being from where I'm standing, I find it hilarious. Now, shall we?
I don't know.
Let's.
We don't even know how this door works. What if it's like a DeLorean and it flips up or something?
Maybe. Do you know how to open this door?
We just knock?
Knock?
Well, let's try. I have not been here.
Just kind of knocks on it. It barely makes a noise. It's like his
sounds like bubbles
popping.
popping.
Kind of, yeah. It's like the knuckle against the stonework, and it's making just this kind of dull, awful sound.
So he's like,
Nothing.
Should I?
yeah.
Should I knock?
Yeah.
You made it like knock, or did you just want me to knock?
Knock.
Which one was that?
The big one.
Can I lean back? Lean back.
Lean back.
And slug the door using siege.
Siege?
Yes, you can.
What is siege?
Go ahead and just roll an attack.
Okay.
Double damage.
Not weapon bonus, so it's just your strength and your...
So it's a 15.
Roll a 15. Okay. So that's your strength bonus and your proficiency modifier. Which
Not
is
my
+5.
proficiency modifier.
So that'd be 20.
Yes.
Yeah. So you reach back. When you watch as his hand hits the section where the kind of engraved metal door is there, just kind of dents inward and leaves this big heavy dent in the front. And the sound, the impact is like a dull, thunderous clap of lightning. Just and you hear it echo on the inside.
Oh. It's engraved with something?
What was?
Well, there was like some very, very faint kind of textured
Just a
pattern
design.
to it. Yeah, design that was built into it.
The knuckles. Oh, by the way, can I see that manhole cover you guys have been carrying around this whole time?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's got giant runes on it. Runes of giant.
Here, help me. Hey, Pike, can you help
Do
prop
I
it up on that
recognize-
side?
Yep.
Just,
Nope.
okay. We
Any
got it.
of these runes?
You recognize it's giant. You cannot read.
Yeah. This is very important script. It says that you must carry this at all times, and if you let it go prematurely, you will die.
What?
Yeah, it's very
I don't
magical.
think he's telling the truth.
Better safe than sorry, there.
Grog, make a
Better
deception
safe than
check.
sorry. We'll hold it. We'll hold it.
Deception check?
Yes.
Natural 20!
Bullshit!
You're gonna die.
I just have, which is a grand total of...
It's a grand total of 21.
21. Keyleth, Pike, I need you guys to both roll insight checks.
Oh,
This is the
come
first time
on,
that actual
Rich.
Travis has like really leaked into grog.
Yeah, no shit.
I tell the truth, guys.
Natural 1!
Wow!
Natural one.
Doors are lagging.
That's a 4. That's a 4.
14.
14, okay. Suddenly, as Grog says this, you realize him being of giant kin, and the seriousness in his eyes, and the stark intensity in the way he describes this. If you drop this, something terrible is going to happen.
Pike, well, I need to readjust my grip.
Okay, readjust,
Okay,
readjust,
here, let
readjust.
me, here, I'm gonna put a gun
Grog,
on
but
my
maybe
back.
you should hold it then, because we're not as strong as you.
Yeah, I don't want to try. Will it kill all of us? Is it like a blast radius
The
thing?
fable goes on to say if you hand it to one of your friends, you will shit everywhere.
Insight check.
Just immediate bowel
He's like,
No, green apple splatters all over your feet. Just awful.
that doesn't sound true, but better be safe
The
than
giant
sorry.
tails ought to be respected.
You probably don't believe the second half, but you do believe the first half.
Yeah.
It is a fable.
So it could be metaphor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Safe and sorry.
The shits could
Okay,
be,
we'll just hold it.
It's at this point that you hear this,
Oh, shit.
and you hear this heavy, low, as the sound of chains being tightened and winding forward, are followed by the large doorway rising up.
Oh, it lifts. Oh.
Does it get stuck with it then?
You watch as it rises, and there is a small carved slit where the knob itself rises up and fits as the door entirely lifts into the structure, leaving the front walkway open.
That's very significant.
And there, standing, you see, with arms off to the side, apparently finishing the rotation of this chain.
A wench.
No,
Which
you
wench?
see two male fire giants, fully armored, with large, blocky, black metal swords, just staring down at you from each side.
What are they wearing?
They're both wearing
Aprons.
Looks like dark,
Leather, like that.
dark plated scale mail.
Okay.
And both of them have these black bands of metal across their neck that have what looks like a small pulsing red gem in the center.
Matthew, are they fuckable? Though? Like, are those guys, like, would you do them?
20-foot high, fuckable.
Scanlan? That's up to you, man. I mean, you've done some freaky shit in your time. Although in this circumstance, you'd be the gerbil.
Okay.
Yes. Kicking it back.
Oh,
Amazing.
I do not feel you bad.
You are Lemmy Wings in this. So.
You don't know what that means.
If you wanna gain some experience, that's up to you.
Some really interesting fan art.
Oh no.
Yep.
Anyway,
Ooey booey.
Done.
Too late.
they both stand there expectantly, saying nothing.
Right. Is this where we let the master do the talking?
Yeah. We're here to speak with Jural.
There's a small pause, and you hear a voice echo from further back in the room, though you see no source for it.
And what is your business with this Jural?
We have a deal we'd like to make. We have a token of our...
We want to play cards.
We want to play cards?
Oh, God.
Sorry, Scout's reading me things.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, Jesus.
Why are you talking? You're the persuasion
I'm the only one not in chains. I'm the only one who can. It's bullshit.
It's so amazing.
You could have made any of us look like not.
No, I can't. It's only a self spell.
Oh, that's true.
Or else I would have. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. What was persuasion?
Yes.
18.
18? There's another pause, and you hear a few heavy footfalls get louder as they approach. And emerging from around the side, you see now a tall, broad-shouldered female fire giant with a very strong, square jaw. Her hair is pulled into this long red braid that dangles past her lower back, and you can see kind of drifting behind her with this large metal ring that it's braided into at the bottom. She's not wearing any armor at the moment. It looks to be wearing just casual clothes. So these clothes are lined with gold and platinum. This is very, very expensive wear that she has on, as well as rings that encrust both of her hands as she steps forward and looks out towards you.
So, you want to play cards or make a deal, you say?
And just kind of lift with Pike the big manhole cover.
She reaches over and grabs it. Both of you.
Fables were alive.
We're safe. We're safe. We're safe.
It's
We're not gonna die.
Just shitting.
Yeah, are you shitting, Pike?
She glances over it and kind of puts it over in her hands.
That's small.
Huh.
Teeny.
So you have spoken with Waska.
Yeah.
Yes. He told us this thing and he didn't. Yes.
Okay. I will hear what you have to say. Let's hear your deal.
Let them in. And she turns around and walks brusquely into the room as the two giants step to the side, removing their crossed swords from the entryway that just kind of scrape across the stone. And you may enter the premises.
I want to look around immediately. Just all the walls.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Nice.
That's a good one.
25.
29.
All right, as you guys walk in this kind of central chamber, this foyer, if you will, it's beautiful in the use of autumn colors mixed with various golds and metallics to create this archway that is just a band of brass, a band of gold, a band of platinum, a band of brass, and just repeats itself onward. It has this kind of tunnel-like feel, and within each of these walls, you can see there are a number of weapons, large, giant-sized weapons that are bolted into the wall that have beautiful runes inscribed within, and what looks to be wooden plaques in the bottom that contain a language that only you recognize but can't read. There are shelves that contain large books that are locked up behind glass and chains roped across it. This is a collection. This is like a small personal museum. And to your size, it is huge. To Joriel's size, it's like a nice den.
Oh my god.
Are there any pieces of armor with a sun on it?
As you guys continue inward, there is a large desk on the opposite side, as well as a few comfortable chairs kind of off to the sides, and a staircase that spirals upward into a second floor. There are a number of very bright red burning torches that the flame itself would be a heavy bonfire by comparison to any of you. And it just burns and licks the edge of the interior without any sort of damage done to the beautiful construct of the foyer. This desk at the end, which she has now walked around and is sat on the opposite side, is made of a beautiful dark green wood and has gold leaf designs all throughout the legs. Everything here just speaks of projected affluence. Jural, this fire giant you've come across, statement with her wealth, with everything she presents. The other two giants that you saw at the entryway that had the binary on the necks closed the door behind them, placed the weapons up leaning against the wall, and both begin to lumber behind you as you walk in, just kind of slowly keeping watch as you progress inward. Jural raises her finger and says, "Could you please bring a means of my guest to speak eye to eye?" And the two giants kind of diverge slightly, both grab two of the chairs and scoot them in up to the edge of the desk. These chairs are about head height to both of you at the resting point, so you'll have to climb up into them and then probably get to be up at the desk level.
The cards are going to be like giant novelty cards.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? In my bag, I have 2 vials of Fox's Cunning.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a potion?
Yeah.
Can I drink one?
If you'd like to.
It's so hot outside. I'm so thirsty. I would love just a sip. I had it made.
It makes you smarter.
Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Just in case the sewer plate says like, eat these and enjoy or something.
Yeah. She already took it, though.
Giant Ritz cracker.
Would
Yeah,
you
but
be
there's
able-
writing everywhere.
Okay. I'm looking at the walls at around 20 to 25 feet. Do I see it like up high on the ceiling? Because I've been looking.
I was going to say, as you guys get to the desk itself, on the back wall behind the desk, kind of above her shoulder, you see what looks to be a beautiful ruby shield that just refracts the light in the room. It's roughly from head to toe of Grog's size.
Wow.
And it's pointed to the bottom and rises up into almost like it's designed like a flame. It has this uneven, flickering, frozen in time of the construct at the top of the shield. On the other side of her other shoulder, you see what looks to be much smaller in size, but a beautiful set of. Make sure I get the description right on this. Beautiful brass armor with priceless cut rubies all across the rest of the silver inlay of the armor itself.
Oh my god, you're
So
gonna be
close, you guys. It's so
blinging
close.
out. Rubies, we gotta get it.
Some juicy couture, baby.
How many feet up the wall?
It is about 25, 30 feet up the wall. It's upwards. It's resting about the top height of the shield, so there's like an even point, and it's about maybe 5 feet down from the ceiling.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Should we let just Keyleth and Senekir up on the chairs, or should we?
I
all
would
get
like
them?
a seat at the table, if that's all
Well, let me
Yeah.
here. Let me
Yeah.
get
it's a
us out of
proper
this. Juriel,
Get us out.
do you mind if we speak candidly and dispose of our guises that led us here?
But of course, you've already presented trust from one of my allies.
I'm
You
sure.
are safe within here.
Can I roll an inside check with
may.
the allies thing?
What's it gonna be?
I know. I just was having difficulty choosing. It's like 19. No, 19.
Oh, shit.
Throwback.
Oh, sorry. I told you the fables were true!
Oh, yeah, you know, like Loot Crate and stuff.
Yeah.
Loot crate.
What's it say?
Magical loot crate. Oh,
Doctor Strange.
Travis. Oh.
Dr. Strange.
Not this again. Not this
No,
again. Not
stop.
this.
Critical
Back
roll for
over there.
10% off your loot crate, guys. Code critical roll.
Thank you, Zay.
Hey.
Hey, all right. You drink the potion, Ron?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you have advantage on intelligence checks.
Nice. Do I gain any temporary intelligence?
I mean, you there's a clarity in your mind that hadn't been there in a while, not since being an eagle.
Do I look over at the symbols and do they all of a sudden start to mean something?
Oh no, you can't read still.
You need to learn to read still.
Oh no.
I like
really
you have a deeper understanding of
I got
the
to
tragedy of
A,
that.
B, C, yeah, we'll work it. Okay.
I like to think that while you don't recognize them as letters, they're like little characters that you're familiar with. There's a little curly guy, and then the cross guy, he's holding swords.
That's the tree. That one's the wiener.
All right. Well, if we can
I
fake it, then
Yeah, but I'm gonna get us out. Well, yeah. I said we dropped our guises, so yes, everyone, you can take your slave robes off now.
We are all chained.
Yeah.
And
Not wearing robes.
You see, Senokir looks over at Utan.
Sinakir, can we?
Not to worry, Utan, if you don't mind. Utan pulls out the ring of keys that he has and goes through and begins undoing your guys' shackles. And as this will take a little while.
Did the door to the room close, or is it still open?
No, it's closed. The two servant giants closed it.
Okay.
Jural leans forward with a grin.
So, please, what do you come here requesting?
hello. Hi there. Hi.
Even smaller.
And leans in real close to the edge of the desk, and the massive size of her face and the breath, oh, it's delightful. It is a combination of rotting vegetation and very, very dry earth.
Sweet.
But the teeth are gleaming. The smile is interested in whatever you're about to say.
I'm hi there. I'm a bit of a gambler. I'm known around the worlds as being one of the luckiest man with a deck of cards you've ever met. And I've won games in many of the different planes. I see that you collect many treasures that you've won in matches as well. Is that true?
Her eyes kind of shift back and forth over the rest of you here.
I have an interest in games of chance on occasion, yes. So, you come all this way to play games?
Yes, I have. I spend my life just playing games. It's my livelihood. I've won many things over the years. In fact, all of these great people, large and small, next to me, I won in various card games around the plains. That one over there, the big one, I won him in a game of gin rummy in the Feywild. This guy I picked up in a game of fish. And I'm here to collect, possibly, one of your items, if that's all right with you.
Make a deception check.
32.
All the bullshitting, always.
Leans even further forward to where it is about 2 feet between you and her large eyes that have kind of come in. Her chin is like scraping against the wood just to get a really good look at you as she looks over. Her red pupils kind of slowly inspecting you. The grin grows even wider as she leans back.
Well, you intrigue me, small one. If your luck has been so great as to collect these fine specimens of strangers, and you bring them all with you to such a place, where do you hail from, if I might ask?
Places. That information is not relevant right now.
Fair enough. So, you come to play me for, what?
Maybe I'll decide after our match.
Well, I need to know what the ante is, so I can ask for a suitable request for my side?
Certainly.
I may, I'm gonna lean in to...
There's a large ruby shield back there, is that true?
Ah, yes.
He wants that, but I think his taste sucks, so I'm gonna go for that brass piece of armor back there.
Ah, interesting. So you wish to play for the armor?
Sure, I'm a little man, and it might help me in a fight someday if I ever lose.
Fair enough. So,
she leans behind and pulls out a wooden box from a small cubby, and you now look behind the desk, and there are a series of cubbies that are just embedded in the wall, and there are different things that she has just thrown in there. She pulls out this wooden box, unlocks it with her heavy fingers, and opens it. She pulls out a deck of cards that is larger than what you're used to playing with, but small enough that you could functionally hold a hand, and small from her perspective, kind of. It's
Don't show.
Let me just cut the cards.
And you die.
She takes it and closes the box. Begins to shuffle them without even looking away from you. And as she looks at you, her she kind of cocks a bit of a half smile to one side and goes,
so for that, do you know the history of this? Because for you to come so far to play a game, there may be a reason you come. And the thing you select for the game we play has much value to you.
Honestly, the game itself is what's of value to me. I am just happy to win and keep my winning streak alive. What I get out of it is meaningless.
Okay.
But if you'd like to enlighten me on that object...
We will play 3 hands. The winner of 2 takes the pot.
What does she want? What
You request the armor. Me, I request your friends.
Oh, I knew that's where she was gonna go with this.
Well, I was going to offer one of your choosing, but you've only offered me one of your items.
Take it or leave it. If you truly have no idea what this armor is worth, perhaps you would wish to choose another thing to ante.
You seem attached to it. I want it. I'll have it.
How badly do you want it?
Certainly badly enough to risk these scoundrels.
Then we have an accord.
We do.
Hell yeah! Let's do this.
I've never been a Nancy before.
Do this.
Stone cold no.
So many bad ideas start with
Bill
this.
Scanlon help you.
Do we need to all sit on the table then?
Does it work like Vegas, or all the odds on the house?
Is it wizard's chess?
May I ask what game we're playing?
Every
Is
time I
this,
put up in a card game, things go
This
terribly wrong.
blackjack? Are we playing like
Strip poker.
strip poker?
Read.
5-card stud?
We refer to it as the Tinder start, but you probably know of it as the Gambit of Ord.
played this
we've
before.
played this.
Or we've heard of this.
Wait, did we end up playing it?
Is this the thing that we
this
played
is
in
the
the
thing you
fucking...
didn't end up playing.
Fuck, we didn't end up playing this. But wait,
shit.
wait. We remember the rules. Do
No,
we?
we don't. We didn't play
You
it.
didn't play it.
Oh, fuck. There was a card
You
game.
make an intelligence check, being a bard that you are,
Get the hand
and add a
going
plus
out.
2 to it.
Here, get that hair going out.
21.
You have played this game.
Thank God.
Thank God.
We're gonna die.
Played it
Art, do you
before.
suck at it?
So as
Suck at everything.
the hand is represented, each of you roll a d8, but you keep the die hidden. Then then you both roll a d6, and then keep it secret. And then you both roll a d4, and you reveal them all together. But you can Raise it as you wish. So.
You raise after each roll?
Yeah.
And what's the goal? Like, what are you trying to get to?
The highest number between the 3 rolls. But you can fold if you want to. This usually is done in a betting type stake circumstance, so we'll see how things go from here.
Okay.
Anyway, finishes shuffling, tosses you a series of cards, takes a couple cards for herself, sets the deck aside right in front of her. The 2 guards in the back, by the way, have gone back, and we hear them stepping away. They retrieve their weapons and head back behind you guys, just kind of keeping them at their side.
So in this room, right? So let's say you're her.
Yes.
And we're all where we are, and the giants are behind the group. Is that about right?
Yes.
Okay, and how much room is there behind her and her wall of buildings?
Maybe 15 feet, 20
15
feet. 15 feet.
I'm going to just slowly tippy-toe around the side of the wall, carefully avoiding giants and my friends. I want to stand not directly behind her, but off at an angle.
Oh.
Make a stealth check with your
Come on, come on.
30.
Okay. You tiptoe to the side. You both take a look at your hands. Go ahead and roll a d8. Okay.
And now, a guess?
Right. So for this circumstance, we'll go ahead and take a d6.
Okay.
Just roll it and put it next to the die. All right. And then now take a d4.
And if we fold, do we start over?
If you fold, you lose the round.
Oh, well then it's just a number.
So it's just numbers at this point. There's no.
For this point, yeah. You walked into a game of her choice.
Okay.
So wait, hold.
There's no
freezing
way to
time.
cheat.
So there's 3 rolls in a row.
Yes.
And she's done 2. Can
Correct.
I see them from where I am?
Well, so you currently went around the table.
Yeah, I'm at an angle, but I'm
Right.
lower than she is. So
Make a
I don't-
perception check.
All right.
Oh,
Luck it is. That's fine. That's fine. 22.
You get a good glance at the first 2 cards, yes.
Can I say the numbers that I see? Hearing as quiet as a mouse
Oh, Jesus.
from 15 feet behind. Can I just breathe it?
Make a stealth check.
Oh, balls.
At advantage in this.
Not advantage because it's an audio thing.
Maybe let him do one hand normal first.
Oh, wait, is it 3 rolls? I don't understand the game. Is it 3 rolls?
Yeah, it's 3 rolls.
There's no way we can
rolls.
cheat.
Best of 3.
Because the Andy's already on the table.
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? There's no way to cheat.
That you can think of.
Unless you.
No.
Unless you can not
Move
her dice.
the dice. But that's risky.
That's risky too.
Oh, but it's cards. It's
Cards
technically
with them.
cards.
The dice is just a mechanic for him.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
So, take a look at your hand.
I know my hand. Wait, am I rolling the 4? No.
We've rolled the 8 and the 6.
Sure.
She looks down and goes, all right. So, to make this even more interesting, I'll wait. Let us see how the first hand goes, shall we? Sure. And she puts her 3rd card down in front of her, face down.
Do I roll?
Roll now. And call. And she turns the cards over. 4, 6,
Ooh.
1.
Oh.
A total of 11.
What do we get?
1, 5, 2. Total of 8.
That is
no.
an unfortunate way to open it, my small friend. But you seem keen on winning, and I respect that. So, she takes the cards, places them to the side, gives you out a new hand, brings it back to her. Shall we begin? Go ahead and roll your 8.
Oh man, straight rolls.
Yeah, man.
I got nothing.
We're gonna kill
There's no
everybody
way.
in this
Can
motherfucking
you?
house.
How do we? There's no way to fucking sleight of hand this shit, is there?
Can he add his
Can't
bardic
inspire
inspiration? Yeah.
This is an ability check.
How do?
If I cast enhance ability on him,
Maybe can you pray for Sarenrae to like intervene and
This is quite literally a game of chance.
It's just quite literally a game of chance.
It's quite literally a game of chance. Like if you wanted to try and remember the creative way to cheat, you're welcome to try.
Okay.
That could also go very poorly depending on how it goes or how.
That's working.
Before you do the next one, she stops and goes.
So, as I was going to say before, how about, as your friends are the ante on the table, throw yourself in as well?
And what will you give me if I win?
Good.
Perhaps the ruby shield?
I love myself a lot, and a lot more than a bunch of rubies and a handle. I'll tell you that much. If I'm giving myself to slavery forever, I want something a hell of a lot better than that. I'm a man who's won 500 straight card games in a row. You think these slaves are something? You should see what I have at home.
Make a deception check.
47.
32.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
She nods.
Oh no.
I'll give you myself as a slave if you do not draw your next card and skip straight to the third. And that's your number. I get all three.
Very well.
Oh, nice, dude! Oh, hopefully she didn't roll an 8 on that first
Nice.
one.
She rolled the first time it was placed there.
She rolled an 8?
That's an 8.
Jesus,
fucking
balls,
me.
fuck
ducks
balls.
and
Come on.
We have to be ready to
Fight.
We're gonna
To be
grab
slaves
it
forever.
and then Jenga out.
She rolled her last
Grab it
card
and
that's
Jenga
not
out.
showing.
But take the shield too. Take the shield too.
And
No.
Pretty bad.
we're good. We're good. No, we're good.
Pretty bad.
Show her last. Tell her to show her last card.
Maybe it's 1. Maybe it's a 1.
It's a 2.
10?
A 10.
We're fucked.
What
We're
did you
fucked.
roll?
I cast minor illusion on the.
On the cards?
Oh,
on-
Jesus.
I cast minor illusion on the first card to turn the 3. Just change the 3 into an 8.
Okay, as you begin to mutter the incantation in your breath, she goes,
I would not recommend bringing incantations into a game of chance.
Before I reveal my cards, I have one more proposal.
Yes.
Maybe we can perform for her. Maybe she can. We can show her why.
I'll come clean with you. We know exactly what that fucking piece of armor is.
I had a feeling.
And we want it. And we're not leaving here without it. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to show you my cards. Because before I do, you'll be dead. Sorry, guys.
no, she turns her head to the side.
You do not want to walk this path, do you? Because if you truly cherish the lives that you and your friends here have, that based on your current change in tone tells me that now belong to me, then perhaps you would wish to continue to make this agreement you came to make.
I can offer her.
More?
Show me your card.
I drew a 3 and a 3 and a 3.
Oh, that sucks!
By one each time. Perhaps it was time for you to lose cards after all. Well, based on our agreement, you and your friends are now property of Jural. However, I see that you are traveled. You seem capable. You are bold. You walk in here after acquiring the will of Joska. So, you want freedom, yes?
Yes?
And perhaps there is a favor you could do for me.
Oh.
In
Okay.
exchange for this favor, I will nullify our contract, and you will be free to go. Does this sound viable?
Possibly. Is it a card game?
The other choice is you are now mine, or, as you so threatened boldly before, that I was to die. But I can say, given the current place that you reside, the enchantments I have in this room, the friends of mine that I have at your back, you would not have the outcome you wish.
What is your offer?
Do you agree?
Did you ever meet a dragon named Thordak?
No.
Big red guy? Took a lot of fire giants with him?
There are a number of red dragons that walk.
This one was special. He had an enormous jewel in his chest.
Sounds worthwhile. But, do you agree to our arrangement?
Just curious, could we draw the third hand? I just want to feel what it feels like to win once.
What about like best out of 5? Best out of 5?
Best out of
You're
5.
probably so bored with life. Why not?
My slave
Why
speaks the
not?
truth.
You are full of spunk and life,
It's true.
and you are foolish. Do you agree to our accord?
I'm really curious about this last hand. If you beat me in this last hand, I agree.
If I beat you in this hand, you agree. Otherwise, what? I still own you?
Yes.
What?
Well, that's the deal.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, maybe you'll win one.
One more hand?
We will see who wins this hand for your own sake.
Thank you. It would make me feel so much better about myself. I've had a long
Does
string
not
of failures.
change our deal. First
Is
die.
it-
Second. And third.
God damn it. This hand's
She reveals 4.
Yes.
4.
Jesus.
4.
God, Matt!
Literally rolled all 4.
You.
Wow.
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 Is it?
I'm really just bad at everything.
Did you roll an 11?
I rolled an 11.
Oh my god!
You are a deity.
I wish I had this luck in Vegas. Like literal gambling.
It's just 4 hours.
Best 7 out of 13.
You have agreed to our accord as to the agreement of
I
this
have
hand.
agreed. I'm already your slave, so I couldn't really say no. So yes, I agree to our accord. What
Good.
favor can I grant you?
You will have your freedom. And the armor you
Whoa.
seek.
Oh, sweet.
My lover does not live.
Oh no.
Because of an altercation with one who frequents the city. My partner, Drogat, died needlessly in the streets of an innocent altercation with Gorix, a pit fiend that lives at the embassy.
Sorry, we're not supposed to go to the embassy. We were told so by our tour guide.
Oh, you should never go to the embassy. But this Gorix is tied up with a lot of politics in the city. As much as I would love to squeeze what infernal life he has, I fear it would cause the execution of me and mine. So, I sit and fester with the need of vengeance. I need you, if you are as capable as you promise, to go and find Gorix in whatever way you see fit, and carve the life from his body. Now, Gorix is a He frequents the arches, which is the slave market of the city, where he finds rare and unique servants for the 9 hells and his masters there. He goes about once a week, and is probably due there in a day or 2. Go. Slay Gorix, and return to me with no mention and no trace that can be brought back to my home. Then the armor is yours, as is your freedom. There is no agreement, you've already agreed, so go.
Yes, we accept. Thank you, my master. We will go do so right away. 2 days, you say?
Should be in 2 days, yes.
Does that mean we don't have to answer to you anymore? You're equal to us?
Yes.
High five!
Woo!
I release you from your slavery.
And into another one.
What does he look like?
Reaches down to the side of the desk and pulls out a very small book. Relative size to humans, and kind of flips through and opens a page to turn towards you.
Oh
giant
no,
book.
he's gonna be really.
This
fuck
is
Oh
what I
my
seek
God.
to see destroyed.
Fantasia.
You can tell. Gorix wears a symbol of his station. It is a thick black chain, and at the bottom it has the symbol of 2 manacles intertwined, within a red symbol that pulses with anger. That is your mark.
Are you sure you don't want just a game of pinochle instead?
You tried my patience, small one.
Please. Call me Kenny Rogers.
2 days. Go.
Go.
Let's go, slaves. I'm sorry,
Nope.
equals Peters. Let's go.
Cool.
As you guys step down, the 2 giant guards step back and begin to walk towards the door to let you out.
Actually, madam, master, do you have any symbols that you could give us? Maybe like something that we can show people so they don't try to claim us for themselves, because you know we are a lot smaller than everyone else here. Something that shows that we're your slaves.
She gets it from behind the desk.
Clever.
And walks up the stairs for a moment.
Giant man.
Is she out of the room?
She's out of the room currently.
Let's steal
But the 2 other giants are behind us?
Yes.
What are they doing?
They're standing watching all of you.
All of us except for...
Standing there, but I'm not.
Jump up and look and fucking see how it's attached to the wall.
How big is the suit of armor, the Dawn Martyr?
Did you do that in your earring?
It'd be like
or something?
a plate that a human could wear. Minute passes.
Oh, come on, Ma!
You hear the footfalls return. As she comes down the stairs with her hand in a fist. And she kind of throws her hand open and hitting the ground and scattering across the stonework, some of them stopping at your feet or beyond. A series of similar black metal rings that match the ones the 2 giants wear around their neck.
But smaller.
But smaller. Various sizes. There's probably like a dozen or so you can pick from them. Some will fit better than others.
These I had made, but have no need for servants of your size until today. So, go. These should be enough.
Thank you. They're lovely.
Yeah, I put mine down. I like it a lot.
Have a lovely afternoon.
You as well. Good luck. Please, kill it. Return.
Do we want to, like, stay the night here?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Gross, but okay. Should we? Go ahead.
Just a quick query. We're like visitors. We don't really have a place to stay. Neither we yours. Do you have like a broom cupboard?
Sundry here pipes up and goes,
Actually, you're welcome to stay at our place. We have facilities that could function. Besides, it's a lot of chain we have to carry back now.
No, it's fine.
It's true.
We'll do you the favor, Seneca, of carrying this chain back to your place.
That's wonderful, thank you.
Favor for a favor.
Indeed. We'll talk soon about mine.
Oh boy,
You'll have to
Jesus,
wear
we're
us
just
like
whacking up a
winter
list,
coats.
man.
Make a suit out of our skin.
Yeah, nice lampshade.
Ooh, his eyebrows is literally going up when she said that. I think he wants to do it.
So, the door is lifted. You guys are led back out onto the street, closest behind you. The time that has passed now, too. I need everyone once again to roll another Constitution saving throw.
Is it been
But
an hour?
I drink that fox is cunning, so
That just does not.
Intelligent.
Am I okay?
We're gonna be fine anyway.
24.
In the mansion. 11.
24.
11.
20.
Do I?
Alright.
Is it fire resist?
Your fire resist would have gone away. You can cast it again if you want to.
I'll just roll this in.
Okay.
Just straight Constitution?
With
Constitution
saving
saving
throw.
Oh, saving throw?
With a saving throw?
Oh,
That's yeah.
Great.
So we roll another.
Well, no. You roll and then you add your saving throw bonus.
Yeah.
7.
So plus or what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yours is
Uh,
almost
so
as good
Vex.
as mine.
4.
Oh.
3.
All right. Pike, Vex, Keyleth,
die.
and Percy all suffer a point of exhaustion.
Oh shit, that's
Pike,
good
your
for
speed
you.
is halved right now.
Oh no,
Your speed
Pike,
is
but you're
halved.
already
what's
so
halved?
Your
little.
speed is halved, so you are
Grog, pick
trailing
her up. She
behind
looks like she
everybody.
needs some water.
Girl, I'm just so tired.
You look so mopey.
I feel very mopey.
Wait, did you want piggyback ride?
Yeah.
Alright, I pick her up and I put her on my shoulder.
Okay. You guys eventually make your way back, being led by Sinekir back to his establishment. Let's go ahead and take a little break for now.
Yeah, I
Go ahead and use the restroom.
look like the creepy guy was saying we
Yeah,
should take a break
right?
for a second.
He's gotten
Were
too
you
far into
merging?
character.
Merging?
Put the
That'd
lotion
be
in the basket.
frightening, wouldn't it?
Puts the lotion on its skin.
I know. All right, guys, we'll be back here in a few minutes. We'll see you in a second.
Don't you hurt my dog!
All right, so first and foremost, tonight's episode is sponsored by Loot Crate.
Loot Crate!
They're awesome.
Get your maps off the table,
We got
Tyrion.
sorry, we've got an unboxing to do here with their last month theme here. But before we get to that, Sam, did you want to?
I just wanted to say, guys, that this month's theme for Loot Crate is magic. And I don't have much planned tonight, but I did learn a magic trick.
Oh,
you did? I'm gonna do a magic trick. It's the first magic trick I've ever done. And I don't have a deck of cards at home, so I'm gonna use spell cards instead. Just give it a little shuffle here. Oh, hey there, Cap.
Please let something come out of your ass.
Taliesin, can you just give it a shuffle?
I'll give it a
shuffle.
Liam, do you want to shuffle?
No,
these?
just we gotta.
Sure, I got it. We got 30 minutes, right?
Wait, no, yeah, give it a shuffle, Liam.
Sure, let me shuffle that.
Guys, ready your wands.
No, like a shuffle, man, like a shuffle.
And get ready for November's enchanting theme, Magical. We've cast a powerful ancient spell to deliver you this 100% exclusive crate featuring bewitching items from Doctor Strange, fantastic beasts, and where to find them. Big Trouble in Little China. And more. Remember the promo links to the show. lootcrate.com/critical role.
Marvelous. Sam slowly becomes Bill Cosby. You're seeing.
No, you can't take that back.
Too scary.
Okay, I'm just gonna show Taliesin here. Just gonna show Taliesin that these are just in fact randomly shuffled cards. Can you please just give the card deck a little cut anywhere you'd like? Okay, I'm gonna look at this half of the card deck, and it will tell me what's in the other half of the card deck. Oh, okay. I know, Taliesin, by looking at that the fourth card down is see invisibility.
The fourth card
The
down.
fourth card down is see invisibility.
So 1, 2, 3. So this card right here. That
Will
if I
be
flip,
see invisibility.
It's just like Nicolas Cage.
This is so exciting.
This is. It is in fact see invisibility. It is in fact see invisibility.
And the most magical part of this trick is that it makes me a quadruple threat actor, singer, professional lover of ladies, and now professional magician.
Oh,
So thank you. Thank you.
Remarkable Nicolas Cage impersonator too. This is really, it's really amazing.
My mouth hurts so much right now.
Vax up in the
Don't do not.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, Luke Ray.
Yeah,
Great
well, so
script.
these are from October. These are
These are not the magic theme.
No.
No,
I
these
got
are
a more
horror
of that.
themes.
This is what everyone should be getting this month.
Just use a plastic.
Oh.
What?
Okay, that's the coolest.
Are those
So,
Freddy
yes.
Krueger chopsticks?
Yes, I
That's
think.
actually pretty badass.
Little chibi Leatherface.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome.
for,
Of all
for
the
the
things
kids.
you thought could never be cute, Leatherface.
Little Leatherface.
Wait, I gotta see if
Love
this is
it.
actually usable or not.
Got
it!
Oh,
off.
good job.
Well done.
Ooh, Camp Crystal Lake. This is going on.
Ooh, a little
bit.
pennant. My
they
son
come
will
out?
love that.
Yeah.
Big
Oh.
fan of the movie.
I'm gonna wear this for my kids all the time.
Regrettable supervillains.
No way.
Superheroes.
Yes.
The
Earlier in the
Legion of
series.
Regrettable Supervillains.
Too soon, guys. Just too soon.
Are these?
This is
Fantastic.
way too
Base
soon.
pod pizza in there somewhere.
Just too soon. This
They're
is too
just
soon.
way too heavy.
Praying
to forget.
Mantis Man and the Blue
I mean, it
Beetle
was 5
Club.
seconds ago.
Cat Girl.
Really.
Animal,
Camp Crystal
vegetable,
Lake.
mineral
Oh, that
man.
makes me happy.
Really?
These
Friday the
chopsticks
13th,
are
man.
amazing.
That's a really bad
That was
reference.
fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, the chopsticks are kind of like.
I'm
The
bettering myself.
chopsticks
you
are
guys,
awesome.
right?
you
Yeah.
know?
Krueger.
Don't try to pick up
chopsticks,
metal
Freddy
dice
Krueger.
with them because they're way too heavy.
Don't eat metal dice.
Don't eat metal dice.
Ooh, The Walking Dead too.
Pretty good.
I call dibs on this next week.
There you go. Well, guys,
Okay.
thank you very much, Luke Ray.
Thank you.
Sponsoring us. We
there's little
appreciate that.
mascots.
You can go to lucrate.com/critical role.
Promo code Critical Role.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone, to Critical Role. That was
the timing. She's been gone. The timing.
She's been gone a while. That's okay. Welcome back.
Sorry.
Ashley, you're amazing.
I'm just not working right now.
That's okay. So, you guys have returned to Senokir and Uten's establishment to rest until you feel it's necessary to undertake this endeavor. But it is your guys' prerogative as to if you want to go ahead and wait over the next day and a half to jump to it, or is there anything you want to do to prepare for this circumstance? What do you want to do?
Let's sleep in the mansion so that we
Yeah,
can
let's sleep in the
regain
mansion so
some
we
of
can at
our-
least get rid of this heat.
We could, if it's a day or two, we could go back to Daxio and
Kind of
check and
thought
then come
about that.
back. But then we'd have to get back in the city. That's probably a terrible idea.
Well,
We could just
can
bamf right here.
Can I bamf right here? It's been.
It's that heat exhaustion.
What's your name? What's your
Sequin.
Sinakir. I took a 10-minute break and that's it.
There you go.
Sinakir, is there a way we could just, if I wanted to plane shift home, is there a way that I could just plane shift right back here and not get, our heads chopped off for it?
I don't know, is there?
Let me check, guys. You know what? Let me check the druidic texts and see specifically what they say.
Specifically, you can choose a target in general terms. It'll
So
probably
the city
bring you
brass.
right back to where you arrived here.
Okay.
originally. So you'd be back on the outside of the city.
At the respawn point.
Well, I can't
Basically.
say Sinakir's jewelry shop in the city of Brass.
You can specify a target destination in general terms, such as the city of Brass, or Dissipator on the second level of the Nine Hells. And you appear in or near that destination.
No guarantee that we'd be.
No guarantee.
Crapshoot.
So we should stay.
Up to
And
you.
we should sleep.
It's a crapshoot. It's possible.
As long as, we know that Alora will send us a message if something's going wrong.
Did it get dark out at all, or no?
Actually, by this time, as you guys have gotten back and this rest, and you guys have really come to get really thirsty, and as the exhaustion hits in, you all continue to reach for your water skins, and they're dried up.
We should go back
It
into
really
the
is.
mansion.
I agree.
The sun, however, has gone to a darker red color, like a soft eclipse almost. And as it does, the heat remains, but the light gets dimmer and dimmer, and almost like a red twilight. And as it does, the city shuts down. Everybody goes home, locks up, and nothing but the Ifrit that you saw wandering the street earlier with little flaming brooches or amulets and the kind of uniform outfit wander the streets.
Why doesn't anyone go outside at night?
Pardon me.
Bless
You
you.
gotta sneeze.
Let's just Sinakir.
Give me a third one.
Bless you again.
I hate you so much.
Good joke.
Live gaming. You asked this to Senekir?
Yeah.
Well, that's largely because the Illuminated maintain a curfew. And if you don't follow the curfew, you'll wind up in chains.
Okay. More different chains than regular chains.
At first, yes.
Okay.
Water skins from our servant.
Who is that guy? Who is that guy?
Thanks, Governor.
Where are we at?
Kill him. If you require water, I can procure that for you, if you like.
If you want,
If
he
you
can
require water, I can procure that for you.
Can we get water from the?
Well, we
can
have
get it in
water
the
in his
mansion.
fucking jug.
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah, you got it.
We got so
Jural.
much water.
I can also create water.
Yeah, but he's got a jug full
Pike
of it.
and I can create water. Me and Pike
We can
both I
create
think
water.
can.
I
Yeah.
create water.
Yeah.
It's not like, don't say like it's
That's not. They're not speaking in metaphor. It's not. You can create water. That's,
All right. So, what do you guys wish to do?
I mean, are we in a hurry? Do we want to try to make this happen tonight?
let's mansion for the night, and then I think in the morning. He's not going to. Like, we can't find him tonight, can we?
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just doubling back to the house. Me trying to get through the servant's window.
You really want to try to break into this
Well,
fire
are we in
giant's
a
house?
hurry? I mean,
Well, I mean,
we've
the
killed some
longer-
pretty gnarly things. I know they're big. So are we.
Yeah, but she could be gnarlier than the giants that we fought.
And there might be, and
unbelievable amount of fire giants in that building.
Or traps.
Or allies nearby. It's in the middle of a city.
Yeah, and I'm sure the other thing will be super easy.
The pit fiend?
We're on a playing table. I mean, whatever, I'm going to follow you.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You
are
want
we
to do
gonna
a smash and grab?
Are we gonna fight
Just
the
run in, grab the armor, plane shift out. Can they chase us down if we do
classic
that?
B&E? Plane shift takes a minute.
No, it's instant. Remember, we
Takes
checked
an
it.
action.
It takes an action. As
6
long as we're all
seconds.
in a circle holding hands.
Oh shit.
And what happens if you can't plane shift out of that house? If we probably want to get out of the house and then plane shift.
In case it's magically locked
In case it's
down.
magically locked down.
Yeah, that's pretty
Which
smart.
the phrase, I have many enchantments upon my home, led me to believe that it's probably
I mean, I really don't see what the problem is, right? Hellfiend goes, oh, time to go shopping for slaves. He walks up to the archers. We set the trap. Backs go stabby, stab, stab. Person goes, pipe goes, and like, Dunsky.
Yeah.
You're writing the best children's book ever.
You don't think? I mean, like, I'm down. I think that's a great plan, Grog.
He also said that the pit fiend could be there in 1 to 2 days.
Yeah, so
Could
we
be
just
there
have to
tomorrow.
keep an eye out.
Or it could be there. And also, do we know how much time passes in the fire plane versus the real world?
You're not entirely certain about comparatively the time. You feel like you've been here for, I mean, a while. By the cycle of the sun-like light source in the sky here on the plane, it seems like you've been here for about a day.
Oh shit.
Do you do we remember any type of relative time jump when we were here last time, in and out?
No, but you were only here for maybe a handful of hours last time you guys
Are you
joined.
worried about being away from Fort Daxia for too long?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I was suggesting.
We could come back to Thordak, just destroyed everything.
Can we just scry on the fort?
I can't scry between dimensions.
It has to be on the same plane.
Can you scry on
that
the
seems stupid.
pit fiend?
We know what it looks like.
Yeah, and you know like a thing for him, right?
Yeah.
You know his name.
Thank you, watering boy.
Yes, I could.
Thank you.
Cabin boy, thank you.
That's what I meant. That's what I wanted.
Oh Lord!
Yeah. Can
Let's
I
scry.
use the scrying eye to try and scry on the pit fiend?
You certainly can. So you have secondhand knowledge of the pit fiend.
And
So
and trying to imagine like his emblem that she described with the 2 manacles and the black chain, because that was pretty.
So focusing on the emblem that you were described, you close your eyes and concentrate, holding the orb of scrying within your grasp. Okay. What's the DC? What's your spell DC?
19.
What's the spell DC of the scrying orb?
It doesn't say.
It would be 15. Well, no, it lets you cast the spell, right?
Yeah, I get to do it.
Yeah.
So it should still be mine, right?
Usually it would be set for the item, but for the purposes of this, it won't make a huge difference, actually. What's your spell DC?
19.
19. Okay, yeah, so it won't make a difference. You close your eyes and you see a brief, fuzzy vision of the city from your perspective. And then your vision jumps suddenly and comes to fire, then comes to black, then comes to a quick view of that weird citadel carved out of what looks like black obsidian hands reaching over each other, the one that you saw earlier, the embassy.
The embassy. Okay.
Then you feel a wall, and you're thrust through a series of walls, not able to really take in any visuals. The process is so fast, wall after wall. Then you come to what seems to be a darkened room, a wide chamber that contains what looks to be a long series of papers and scrolls that are laid out in a specific format. You can see chained to the walls, individuals moaning and crying, and you see sitting in this small circle in the center of the floor, a humanoid in the sense that it has arms and legs, but you see the pit fiend sitting there, almost meditating, eyes closed, large teeth, jagged and pointed, coming out of its large jaw, dark red horns that curve behind its head, these large wings that are currently folded around it from the back as it sits its knees out, cross-legged, its arms resting upon the edges, its eyes closed. It appears to be sleeping, or at least resting.
Can I get a focus on what the slaves look like?
Unfortunately, you can't. The target of your scry is about the most you can focus on. You have a blurry atmosphere around them. You can just barely pick up the aspect of their presence, but that's the most you can do with the scry spell.
Okay. Well, he appears to be in his bedroom. Definitely in the Citadel, as she said.
Does he have any, like, cuts on him? Anything that looks weak?
He had big, gnarly teeth.
Okay.
Did he look
and
scary?
slaves. Huh?
Did he look scary or?
He looked very unpleasant.
Was just him, right?
Definitely unpleasant.
One dude.
We can take one dude.
Yeah.
Well, and he also had a bunch of people chained to the wall, and this was after being teleported, or not, my vision being slammed through several walls. It seemed to be very deep in the labyrinth that is the embassy, which
Right.
seems like a labyrinth.
But
So
we
we'll have to
wouldn't
wait
go
till
in
he
there.
comes out.
Yeah.
Can we trick him into the mansion?
Ooh.
The mansion door, I think, is only 10 feet tall.
How tall is he?
20?
From best that you could tell, probably close to 15 feet.
He could, like, duck in.
Crouch. He's a little taller than Grog.
What kind of slaves did it look like he had? Just all types?
I tried to look. Yeah, I couldn't tell. He looked like a nice variety.
How would we get him in the mansion?
Like if we
and
said, like, hey, I heard there's really good slaves up in this mansion.
And then what do we do in the mansion?
We can quietly attack him from all sides, have a fight that won't draw the attention of the guards.
Something tells me that people fight in this city a lot.
Yeah, but I don't think the slaves attack the owners very often.
Yes.
Yeah, we would have to make ourselves look like.
This would be a very... there's nothing that we could damage in there that would remain damaged.
Unless we try to use ourselves as slave bait again, put a few of us on the auction.
I wonder if you could, you seem to be able to talk Yank into doing whatever you wanted. Do you think you could do that with this guy?
I could certainly make an appearance of Yank.
I meant
you
convince him
mean
to come on inside.
dominate him?
Yeah.
I mean, he could be
Maybe.
much more intelligent than Yank was, though.
Could be.
I mean,
He was
he's an
sleeping.
embassy member.
I can try.
He wears jewelry.
He has a logo.
He meditates.
He meditates.
Yep.
Bikram yoga.
So
Is that the hot one?
That is the hot
Yes.
what do you think
Everything's
about?
Bikram yoga.
Should we go recon on the
Your
archers,
footwork.
like slave shopping mall, whatever it is?
In the morning, not now.
Yeah.
But I think if you offer him...
Yeah, set up the door outside the market or whatever.
So he's going to the archers to slave shop?
Yes.
I mean,
unique slaves. He likes unique.
seems crazy that a gigantic fucking pit boss, whatever he is, would be like, oh sure, I'll step into this creepy door,
Yeah,
weird stranger.
It's
You know what? The mansion door is rather creepy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
for sure. Everything about me is creepy, guys.
But it's unique. And what if just inside the door we make it look even more unique?
Yeah, can't you make the mansion look like anything you want?
Within reason.
That's important to say.
Set of buns.
That's important to say.
There are limitations.
I mean, if it
It's
just
still
looks
a
like,
mansion.
you know, like a
Neon
like a
signs,
sexy
just a
den or
gerbil
something
hole.
instead.
Yeah, and if he doesn't come in the door, then we kill him.
Or we shove him through the door.
I mean,
I don't know if he's
this
gonna
seems
fall
like
for
a
that.
plan C to me.
Yeah, I'm with Sam.
Convincing
It's
a
getting
giant killing machine to step into a nice house seems like it's a,
He's not
it's a
a giant,
desperate plan
He's
of
not a
people
giant
without anything
killing
else to
machine.
offer.
He's a businessman looking to purchase.
What, do we like go and make a deal with the devil?
Yeah,
That was even beneath you.
the deal is we just attack him and kill him. I don't know what's the big deal. We're
Just
sent
kill
on
him?
a killing machine, a killing mission here. Let's go kill him
Where are we going to kill him?
wherever we see him.
We're just going to attack somebody.
Well, let's talk to Sonny here.
Could one
Creepy
or
Sonny.
Could one or two of us? What about this? This is a terrible idea.
Great.
Could one of us goad him into following us out of his abode or some building somewhere, and you pop the mansion door outside the actual door. So he goes to try to leave the tavern or whatever the fuck. He goes into our house.
I mean, ultimately, if we can get him in a building and then back out of the building,
you cover
great.
the door with our door.
But if we can get him in that building, why can't we just get him in the fucking mansion?
As far as you understand, for a person to walk into the mansion, they have to know they're walking into the mansion.
That sucks. I mean, that's great.
So we can definitely entice them with, like, you guys can pose as slaves and show him some amazing feats and say there's more where that came from inside the mansion. But if he says no, then what's our plan?
Well, okay, how about a
Sinokir pipes up at this point.
Thank
He's been
you.
listening in on this whole conversation off to the side. He goes,
I hope so.
If you are indeed going to fight a creature of this esteem, I will request to not be present. Thus, you will be masterless in the city. I don't know how to protect you the way you look.
But don't we have the neck rings, the collars, to mark that we're...
Perhaps that will be helpful. Just make sure you have a solid story. Or another way of masking yourself.
I can make us all look different. What would make us passable in the city?
Well, dressed more like us or the others who are free. Or depends on what you can look like.
Less appealing, less different.
Or at least amongst the elite of the city,
well dressed?
where you won't be bothered.
Do you have any extra robes?
I can make us all robes and stuff.
Oh,
But don't we want to look unique for him?
I mean,
to
one of us.
Want
Well,
one of us.
Seeming allows you to kind of tailor us, right?
Sure,
We can mix and match.
Actually, what does seeming allow?
I wonder if we could...
I can shrink or grow us by a foot, change our general appearance and clothing.
Well, how about we do
Skin
a little bit
color.
of both? We can have a few of us, maybe two, as slaves, the rest as masters, walking around incognito. Once one of us gets sold off, we track him back, so we're not fighting a member of the embassy of the city of Brass in the middle of the market.
Yeah, that would be bad.
What if we pitched I like the mansion idea. What if we pitched the mansion as a traveling magical boutique slave shop?
I don't think he's
artisan
gonna
slave
fall
shop.
for
So what if he does it? Then
lube this guy up in a loincloth, and this guy, after a hard day's tinkering, and we sell them. We just sell. This guy can sell anything. This guy could sell a hunk of shit to the Emperor of Iman.
These people have seen a lot of shit, not just one hunk of shit.
What if you and I dressed in exact identical clothing and then we're unique? We're,
I was
twin
actually
slaves.
going to say quintuplets. We could all
all look like
look
us.
the same.
Is that a
bunch of
fantasy
Vexes and
that
Baxes.
people have?
It is now.
Whoa! That's the plan.
Ooh, I like
Wait,
it.
I'm sorry. What's going on? We're all looking like you?
We're
Just-
septuplets.
Why?
Sextuplets.
Yep.
Sextuplets. And you're the
Octomom.
salesman.
I'm selling a group of identical twin slaves.
Not twins.
Sextuplets. Slaves.
Sextuplets.
And the advantage is just that they look cool.
No,
Check out my slaves. They all look alike.
If you give us one order, we all understand the order.
Somehow a stamp with an upside down airplane is worth a fortune. This obviously is more rare.
I could make you all like other ways unique.
I mean, we're fairly attractive. I feel like 6 of us would be worth the.
Although you
price
can
of
only
admission.
grow us or shrink us by a foot, so this would be a
Well, she
really
can make
little.
her taller and you two shorter.
Can I also throw out that maybe 6 might be pushing it a little? Maybe we should drop it down to like quadruplets.
No, because
don't push it at all.
6 is what he's walking around with. He's got more back in his shop.
And it's got the word sex right in it.
It
Sextuplets,
does.
Sextuplets.
It's just so easy.
Sex sells.
Sex stuff.
You can do it. Magic door, sextuplet.
Sextuplet
I
cells.
feel
Mansion.
like I'm just gonna. I love this idea. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like convincing him that you are able-bodied slaves with magical abilities might be even more of icing on the cake than, hey, they look alike.
Yeah, I like that. You vamp, baby. Do whatever.
All right.
Do what you do.
All right, and when it doesn't work,
We kill him.
Sunny,
Cinnabuns.
can we fight him right there in the arches? Will people be like, What the fuck's going on? Arrest them all.
Will people
He
join
is
in
a
to help
known
him?
entity in this city. If you wish to fight him in the open, I would recommend having a way of perhaps having the illuminated on your side.
That's the guards?
those are the
That is the
Ifrit?
guard.
Artisanal.
Maybe
half-elven.
wait.
Okay.
If we can talk them, if we can convince them that he's broken a law of some sort.
Sure.
No, bribes.
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 We could also try to convince them that he's broken a law or done something horrible.
What's against the law here?
Well,
jaywalk.
Going against the Sultan.
What?
You what?
The Sultan.
Going against the Sultan himself.
Going against the Sultan?
Is the most grievous of things. And he is a paranoid one.
He's the one in the big. No, he's.
In the Charcoal Palace.
Right. Yes, the charcoal palace.
I mean, I could make the image of our mark, just standing out there in the middle of the arches, just cursing the Sultan's name and pissing all over the place.
Right, but listen, I don't know if we have enough to bribe all the Ifrit. What if we went to the Charcoal Palace?
Does the Sultan mark his slave?
Spewed a tale and said that this pit fiend is plotting to overthrow the Charcoal Palace, and all we want is to remove the problem for him.
I can really recommend you not go near that palace.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So we do it.
No, let's not.
They have wards to pierce through lies.
Oh.
You will find yourselves never heard from again.
Oh.
If you have falsehood in your midst.
Does the Sultan mark his slaves?
The Sultan, I imagine, would, though I am not aware of it myself.
Does he have a seal?
I believe so.
If we are to sell ourselves as slaves, we can be marked as the property of the Sultan.
And then what?
And then we could claim that he was trying to steal property of the Sultan.
Are we still sextuplets in this?
Why not?
You don't get to negotiate that aspect. Even if we're not doing anything, even if we're just sneaking back into the house and stealing the armor, we're doing it as identical sextuplets. There's no fighting that anymore.
One addendum, our sizes don't change, right?
I can make you a foot taller or smaller.
Well, we could be like Matryoshka nesting dolls.
The Von Traps?
Yes. All from biggest to smallest.
Oh, I love it.
That's unique. That's unique.
That is unique.
I feel like we're spending a lot of time on this.
On
that
the
it could be
sextuple.
slaves.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
And maybe
Don't
not
judge.
enough time
Don't
on
judge.
our battle plan.
The battle plan
Oh, that would go to shit anyway.
is nesting doll sextuplets.
Okay. So far, let's just recap, vote, and move on.
Yeah.
Seneca, if you saw a bunch of people that look the same that went from small to big, wouldn't you want them as slaves?
Depending,
They were totally hot too.
probably.
And also, if they had skills, each of them had a separate skill.
Most likely. There are many unique slaves that pass through the arches.
Oh, really? Like, what's the most unique one you've ever seen?
They've had a few celestials through before.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Those generally fetch a pretty penny
I
with
bet.
the individuals you're speaking about. The winged ones, they apparently are very sought after by the in health.
The winged
Wings! Wings! You have wings!
Or we could just seeming wings.
Yeah,
could
but
just
they can
seeming
probably
ourselves
see
as
through that
celestials.
shit. His are real.
So far, only
For an hour.
Sinbuns here has been able to see through my shit.
Right.
I feel like they'd be able to tell. But whatever.
If each of the sextuplets, and I'm never going to get tired of saying that, were unique in their own way, and yours was that
Was
you had
wings.
a trace of celestial, which is
Sure.
why you have wings.
Sure.
Do we still want to try and get him in the mansion?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm just going to recap these plans
Yeah.
here. Plan A, making us all sextuplets and trying to get him into the mansion.
Celestial septuplets.
With wings.
to get him into the mansion.
Yeah, I think we should all have
Plan B,
wings.
we're all sextuplets.
Seeming one does not add wings. It has the same arrangement of body parts.
Oh.
So
But
you
if
could-
one of them has wings, it's very
But if one of them has
unique.
wings, you could change those wings into a different color.
Yes.
Could I?
Oh my god.
Could I use alter self? Because alter self gives a, like.
Alter self.
Give wings.
Can I drink a Red Bull?
Keep recapping Plan B.
Because I can give myself gills and stuff like
So
that.
plan A, again,
Yes. Yeah.
sextuplet slaves mansion.
Yeah.
Plan B, we're still sextuplets, but this time we're somehow framing him for dishonoring the Sultan and then attacking him in the middle of the square.
Which is why Plan A is much better.
Plan C, still sextuplets.
Yes.
That doesn't change.
No.
But now we're just ambushing him in the center of the arches, and we've paid off the guards to turn a blind eye.
We don't have enough money to pay off the guard.
We have tons of money.
We got a lot.
We don't have that much
No,
money.
we don't have that much money.
Maybe we can bribe them with 6 identical slaves. So what's it gonna be? Plan A, the mansion? That's certainly gonna fail. Plan B, the framing job, or Plan C, the bribery / ambush?
I'm feeling
Plan
Plan A.
Into Plan B if it doesn't work.
All right, great.
Remember, we're just to show off. You've got more.
Of course
What
I've got more.
Back
is
in
the
your
Sultan's
store. You're
name?
a traveling salesman.
Yeah, these are the
I
smallest
like A
of the
or
bunch.
C, but
So,
the Sultan's name is the Grand Sultan of the Ifrit, the Lord of Flame,
Oh,
the
here we go.
potentate incandescent,
You
the
started
temperer,
Yeah, no,
the
no,
eternal
no,
flame
no,
of
you-
truth,
no, we heard once
the most
before.
puissant of
Actually, yes,
hunters,
I'm so
Marshal
sorry.
of the Order of the Fiery Heart, the Smoldering
Once he starts, he
Dictator,
has to
the
finish.
Crimson Firebrand, Marake al-Sidan al-Harik ben
thought you were
Lazen.
bad.
Okay, nobody do that again.
That's
Man,
not so much.
It's like when you start the little like Halloween
Yeah.
singy things.
Yep.
I almost got it memorized though.
not supposed to. It was long as shit.
Watch all this.
Mine's
Pressing a
better.
button and it starts from the beginning.
Scanman, can you
Lord
rearrange the inside of the mansion to look like whatever you want, or has it got
Yeah,
one
what would it be? A
preset?
slave auction house?
Could it be like a theater for presentation, or a ring to show off our amazing skills,
Yeah.
wings, arrows, and then we've got
Sure, like a
Somewhere-
sideshow, circus sideshow
somewhere
thing?
between the Folie Bergère and Caligula's living room.
Caligula's living room I can do.
what can those
Yeah.
blue people do?
Maybe have like a little side area with like hookah and like some nice like dancers,
Free
you
buffet.
know, as he watches to add to the atmosphere.
I mean, sure, I can do some of these things within reason. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if he actually.
Maybe.
Once the mansion is built, does it stay built?
Hold on a second.
Rebuilds every time
I think
really
it's like
stretching
like a Windows PC.
I
is
mean,
you can change the desktop settings.
Totally.
Scanman does have a very big imagination.
Yeah.
What if the ladies all
Something
went
gotta
on
be
like
big.
a redecorating tear really fast? You know?
They just hung a bunch of fabric up and
Yeah, we go grab
and lit some
fabric.
candles. That's all.
Yes.
Throw pillows,
Dim the lights.
incense.
Yeah.
It's still a mansion.
building
It's still a mansion.
You still
It has
open
a-
into a
it has a
foyer.
foyer.
You still
Foyer.
you can customize any other floor plan you like and like the decor of it, but it still looks
It's a
like
mansion with
individual
a
mansion.
showroom.
Yeah, so we can put like
We can
big
customize
pieces
the
of fabric
decor.
up to
Change
make
the
it
decor
like.
and add a
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Opium den
I like it,
style.
I like
Opium
it.
den, yeah.
Build a stage out of chickens.
You can have little slave chickens.
I mean, that sounds so
Tiny.
great.
Tiny.
Yeah,
God.
little burlesque dancing chickens.
I'm on board. Let's try this stupid,
Chickens and
crazy
fish
plan. So we're gonna go to the
feathered.
arches tomorrow, disguised as the slaves of what's her butt?
Yeah.
We've
Juriel. Juriel.
We've been
Juriel.
purchased.
Jorel.
We've been
Juriel.
purchased.
Jorel.
Juriel.
You've already made a sale, and you have more back at the.
Sure.
So we've been told.
You're slaves. I'm a slave master.
Yeah.
What do I look like? What do I?
Whatever
make
you want to look like.
No,
Anything
I
you
gotta
wanna
look
look
like a
like.
slave master. What the Senny? What do I look like?
I would recommend not being a pink-skinned gnome like yourself. Perhaps something that could live in this city.
Like maybe an imp.
An imp would be interesting.
An imp with jewelry and such.
However, an imp would not be solo and would probably still be behooved to the Nine Hells and would work and be considered a subordinate to a pit fiend. I would not recommend an imp.
Oh.
Give me a thing. Give me a
Something little.
being.
Like a little thing.
Perhaps
hobgoblin?
Perhaps an Azir.
A what? A who?
An Azir?
Azir.
Is that what's that?
It's a, well, as you would consider close to them, a dwarfish, but you may have seen a few, and you've seen a couple of strange individuals throughout the cities you walk by. They're dwarf-like, they're thick, they're muscular, they look kind of like a dwarf, except for instead of hair and a beard, it's just fire. Just a wreath of flame across like dark gray, almost obsidian skin.
Baby Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Baby Ghost Rider.
Be one of those.
Totally be one of those.
To give you a specific visual, just so you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about here, when I say that's like
That's Baby Ghost Rider. So Baby Ghost Rider.
Cool. That is awesome.
That was
Great.
painful.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Flames!
Heaving breath.
Let's go.
All right.
So, I'll make the mansion for the night. We'll all take a rest and then go tomorrow.
I was going to make some bets. We have Littens.
Oh, that's so kind of you. But we have beds that are, specific to us, and we need them.
Just the break from the heat is the only thing that would force us to deny your hospitality.
Very well.
But we will keep the door to our rooms, of course, in your abode.
Of course. We'll discuss soon our arrangement. Good night.
Oh, Jesus.
God, he's.
Why does he keep doing that?
Who's doing that?
Why did he want us?
That's
Why
like
did he want us to sleep in
Train.
his house? Should one of us just sleep in his house?
No, nobody should.
All right. You guys
It's got a
find your
basement
way.
with something wrong in it. There's something in the basement.
I have a quick request. Before I go to sleep, can I try and find Pike and see if she will teach me the alphabet before my fox's cunning wears off?
In one night.
Oh.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Maybe you could learn a letter.
You go and find Pike in a room. She comes to the door, already groggy, no pun intended. Sorry about that. You open your door and you see Grog sitting there looking a little sheepish.
Grog, what's wrong?
Yeah, look, I had trouble sleeping, and I actually know giant, but I can't read it.
Okay.
Do you think maybe before this fancy smart potion wears off, you could teach me some letters?
Well, if we have maybe a book or something, I could like a beginning to read giant. Is there anything like that where I could know?
Well, no, I don't.
What the letters
I
are?
don't see a lot of giant. Just even common,
Just common letters.
Yeah, just.
Yes, I can show you the alphabet. I will write it out. Okay. And do you know how to spell your name? Okay. It's very easy. You have 4 letters in your name.
How many?
But there are 2 of the same letter.
How
so
many?
You really only have 3 letters in your name.
But I'm not so hot on the numbers.
Okay, well, we won't talk about numbers. Okay, what's the first letter of the alphabet? This you know.
G.
That's the first letter of your name.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
It doesn't
but that's
stop
not
at
the
that?
first letter of the alphabet. You've said it before.
Hey.
It's the first letter. Oh, well, you wouldn't know that because you don't know how to spell.
Fucking A, this is tough.
Oh!
What?
You just said it.
Fucking A.
Yes. A. A is the first letter of the alphabet.
A. A. A.
Okay.
A.
And we can keep going. But
Okay. For the purposes of narrative here, you spend the next few hours with Pike in your room, beginning to learn elements of the alphabet of common. You go through enough of it where you pick up some of it, and as the potion fades, so does the memory of the lesson. Yeah, it's just worse for Grog or not. But it wouldn't have mattered because common alphabet and giant runics are totally different things.
Yeah, totally. I just wanted to know something.
Oh, you couldn't.
I'm so.
Did I at least teach him how to spell his name?
Yeah, you couldn't give him his name, man.
Yeah,
Make an
man.
intelligence check, Grog.
Oh,
Next morning when you wake up.
Do I still have, no, it wore off, right? I don't have advantage.
No, before
you can do it.
You can do it, Grog. Roll a natural 20.
I'll say as you feel the potion fading from you.
I burp and I get a little
What'd you
bubble.
learn?
Sure, go ahead and roll intelligence check.
Oh, that's even worse.
-2. Fuck. Well.
Wait, I'm an. Oh no, I can't do that. 12? Okay.
You get grr. And that's where it ends.
My cursive is sweet.
Okay.
I'm so tired. I've learned like all of these, but I'm really sleepy.
We'll keep working on it.
I'm not so well, but yeah.
We'll keep working on it.
Keep working. Good night.
Good night,
Thank you, Pike.
You sleep so well, okay?
Smash cut to a year later. He's going.
See, Kevdak, run.
Oh, that's so cute. Before I go to sleep, I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration on myself to maybe get rid of 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Sleeping out of curiosity,
Since I
sleeping
have two.
outside of the effects of the heat should make it.
It'd be greater restoration technically to try and.
Yeah, there's AC in here, isn't there?
There's AC.
In the mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Not in the studio.
Get a point of exhaustion, but not in the studio.
Greater restoration reduces exhaustion.
Okay, so I will.
But you can do
cast-
that as well.
I'll cast Greater Restoration
Okay.
before.
So, yes, you
before
reduce the
that.
level of exhaustion on yourself.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a little time working on a couple things for the fort when we get back.
Tip-top shape.
Okay.
Some a netting ammo for the trebuchet. Just a sketch to start to design a very simple bolo for the trebuchet.
Pretty sure that's pronounced trebuchet.
Trebuchet.
You're just designing, right?
Just penciling and then penciling maybe like a little. I think I've got a notion for a watchtower that's super simple.
Okay.
Like platform for 2 people tops with a rope that it connects to a bell so that when you start heading down it goes fuck.
Great. Alrighty. So, as you guys all come to consciousness the next day, you gather your things and you step out of the mansion into the center of Senekir's shop.
Do we recover a point of exhaustion by sleep?
Yeah, you guys with the long rest, you recover a point of exhaustion, so you're all back to baseline, including you, Pike, because of your greater restoration. Your spells are recovered. HP is recovered if there was anything lost from it. So, the day is yours. What do you wish to do?
Go to the arches, the golden arches. Wait, first
Or
I
wait,
gotta
do we-
cast seeming on
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
Are we gonna scout? Well, I guess we still need.
So
to
we're all
there
gonna
and-
look like Vex.
And Vex.
And
And Vex. All the girls are gonna look like Vex.
3 Vexes. I mean, it's kind of the same.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
one's got boobs.
Which one?
Which one?
I'm gonna.
It's
We're going, right? Yep. All right, so yes, I'll cast seeming on everyone, making them various level heights of Vex and Vax. I guess. This is
amazing.
Best day ever.
This is awesome!
And they're slaves, right?
Yeah.
Slaves,
Yeah.
so tattered clothing.
Okay.
No. No, make us look like good slaves.
Simple white robes.
All right.
Yes.
Simple tattered white robes.
No, I want to look pretty.
You're so
Too
rich,
late, the
you want
spell's
us,
taking
you want us
effect.
clean.
Yeah, make us clean, like pretty
You're
slaves.
clean.
Exotic.
Oh, that's
man.
right.
No.
That's right. You're the best of the best. You would have the
Yes.
best robes,
Like
right?
Princess Leia,
Totally
Jabba
right.
the
You're
Hutt.
totally right. The best.
Like-
And we still have the.
Oh my God, yeah,
we still
Princess
have the
Leia.
neck
Princess
thing.
Leia, Jabba the Hutt
Absolutely.
slave.
And wait, am I
Yeah.
making him celestial-ish?
Oh yeah, make his wings when they come out, make them like white wings instead
Is
of
that a
It's the
celestial? What is
whole
the
thing.
celestial lily? Do they glow all the time?
They have
does
white
that
wings,
work?
correct?
White wings?
Most angelic entities have white or gold wings, so
Okay.
Did we find out if I could
Go, go.
alter self wings?
you cannot.
Yeah,
It has to be the
that's-
same physical
Wait a
structure
minute.
of
Wait a
the
minute.
body.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna make his eyebrows and
We
hair
don't.
gold. As
We don't
well.
want him walking through the streets to the arches as a celestial.
No.
We want
Well,
to get him in the
no.
house.
No, when
Yeah,
he
yeah.
pops his wings, the wings will be gold.
Yeah, we haven't started walking
Can they
though.
be gold delayed later when I pop out? Or
We'll find out.
oh shit. Well,
Can you hide them under a cape?
I mean, I don't know where you hide them.
They only
all.
last for an hour though.
my shoulder blades.
They're in you?
I mean, it
Ew.
feels that way, yeah.
Are you Wolverine?
We are learning way too much about everyone.
So,
We'll find
seeming
out.
on everybody but Vax, right?
No? I mean,
No, what?
I'm not doing it twice.
us.
Yeah, I mean, it's just clothes, though.
Have we headed to the arches yet? Are we
We're
there?
walking there right now.
We're gonna walk with the Celestial in the middle of the street.
No, we're saying we're not making his wings look like that just
You,
yet, dude.
you guys also are not sure where the arches are.
Oh, Seneca.
Okay, should we maybe just go
Yes.
scout the location first?
No.
As regular.
No, we don't want to walk
We're
out.
doing this.
What do you
What if it
require?
takes us an hour to get Hi, where are the arches?
Oh, do you require guidance there?
No, you can maybe just
Uten,
point us.
why don't you bring them to the arches?
Thank you, Uten.
I will not be joining you.
That's very fair.
I wish not to get involved with the pit fiend. I will ask, though, just to be safe, if I could have, of your choice, one small bauble to remember you by, as we still have an arrangement to discuss, and knowing to an extent your capabilities, there's a chance that you might escape without returning to me. So,
Is that for memories or for some voodoo shit?
It's voodoo shit.
Yeah.
it is to make sure that should you abscond without upholding your end of the deal, I can find you.
From each of us, or just one thing?
I could give him one of the sand keg bottles.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I druid craft a band around his arm.
Thank you. That'll die soon.
It's. You can like preserve it.
No, it's
yeah?
gonna die, Keyleth. Don't. even.
It'll still function. It just will be lifeless. So, continue, please. Stay safe.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
We go.
Uten's like, okay, follow me. I will lead you. He's like, even he's looking a little weird over it.
Even for the guy that knows him.
And when I cast Seeming, I also cast it on myself, making myself look like a Nazir?
Nazir, the flaming beard dwarf.
Yeah. I don't know if I can make flames with Seeming.
We'll say for the purposes of the illusion, you can pull off something that resembles flames enough to the
Okay.
point where it should pass.
All right, great.
All right, so as you guys walk out into the city, you are led by Uten in a similar path that led you towards the where was it? Towards these, not the Zenith Forge. It would be actually by the Pyra column where you met Woska, but you continue past that in the northeast direction, heading towards, as he tells you as you pass, near the naval grounds of the Sea of Fire. Beyond that, you guys find that the streets become wider and the network of clusters of metal cages begin to adorn portions of the center street islands. Within these cages, you see humanoids of all walks of life, creatures, beasts. There's it's a collection, a veritable zoo of entities from all the planes, all bound to various cages, chains, and other elements, whereas Ifriti individually bark from the top in a language you don't understand. You see large banners and streamers set across elements of the road to mark various segments of this area. And at this point, Uten turns to you and goes, "Well, you have officially reached the arches. I will bid you adieu, as I also will not want to deal with the pit fiend. Good luck."
Wait, Uten.
Yes,
So what happens? Do you just like, are these all for sale then? And
all of the ones that do not look like they're yelling for you to buy something, most likely.
okay. And then other people just come through. So if you like do the door thing here, then this could potentially be a market.
Is it okay to just set up shop?
If you are convincing enough.
Convincing enough.
Do we need
All right.
a shingle to put out front? Sign? Flowers to make it look pretty?
We can. Keyleth can
You hook
shape
us up?
something.
Oh my god, you look just like my sister, you look just like me. That is fucking weird. I'm gonna go stand over by Grog for a bit, so I'll talk to you later. Never mind.
As you go walk over to Grog and look up at a much larger, slightly butcher version of your sister staring down at it.
Slightly, completely.
The tallest one.
So me.
We're just here to. Are we gonna pose it and start selling? I mean,
I mean, we'll set up shop and only sell to him.
I mean, I could also theoretically. It's just I don't know how well these things can see through other things.
Well,
I could do hallucinatory terrain kind of right around this and make us look like a little legit kiosk with a little entrance. Once again, kind of incorporating your door. I can control it as much as I want.
Can you grow a gazebo like a?
Yeah, but people
like
will
a-
see the gazebo just appear out of nowhere.
It's a magical tent.
What do we need to sell people? We just need like a slab to put them up on. Say, look here. There's this one's for sale.
Yeah, but we need the mansion door to get him inside, so we're not going to have like us outside.
Yeah,
Are we?
of course we're gonna have you guys outside. How else are we gonna convince them that there's more good stuff inside?
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, we're the showroom window.
Can you grow a gazebo out of
Or just
grapevine?
a stone slab. We don't need much here. Let's not break the bank.
I mean, I could do some druid craft, but that's minor. Growing a gazebo out of vines, that's plant growth. I guess I could do it with plant growth fairly instantly, without the full 8, because it's like kind of one or
I
the
thought you
other
said
thing.
hallucinatory terrain.
Why do we need a fucking gazebo?
Let's just fucking stand here.
Because we don't want to look like 3-card Monty guys with a cardboard box. We want something that is, you know.
Matthew,
What if we dance?
What does everyone else have around?
I still just feel like if we're just a crowd of slaves.
What are the other kiosks? Are there any?
I mean, there are many scenarios in which you see people being sold. That was adorable. You find elevated wooden platforms. You find metallic stages that are being lifted by slaves, held up where the barker shouts out among them. There are all sorts of presentations. Each person's trying to shout over the other. Many of the various humanoids and Ifrit that you see in the vicinity are all yelling over each other and trying to catch attention. It's this weird kind of constant barking, almost auction type atmosphere where it's just a lot of din, noise, music, and voices shouting over each other. It's also very crowded in this area. There are a couple small parts. There's like an alleyway nearby where there's a little more of an opening. Like if there was a spot to set up, it would be there. If not, there's probably you could traverse the rest of the vicinity of the slave market. But currently, where you are, that's the one space that's not too close to an existing shop.
Set up there.
Yeah, set up there. And then, Grog, you just lift him up and make him look like super tall, and we'll all like
Celestial
do this
self.
around him.
We don't need to get fancy.
In a row.
In a row, doing the same move. Yeah, exactly.
All right, can I
It's, like,
druid
extra
craft
cool.
some nice, like inviting looking bushes
Shrubs.
and shrubs. Yeah.
Sure, which will definitely catch attention because no vegetation exists here
Never
for the most
mind
part.
then.
No,
Never mind.
I'm just saying it would get your attention if you
Oh,
want
I
people
could
to
do
look
a
in your
stone slab.
area.
No, like it'll be fancy. I think it will be fancy.
What?
If you plants where there are no plants is fancy.
What?
And if a slave can do that,
that's an expensive
that's pretty
slave.
special.
Maybe we wait until we see him so that we don't get unwanted buyers.
Maybe you can do some flair while
All
people
right,
are walking
should we just
by.
sit here and wait for a while?
Yep.
Let's keep an eye out. Why doesn't whichever one of us is the one that can be sneaky and look around?
We all need to be voguing.
Yeah, we're staying together.
But we'll look as we're voguing.
All right.
We wait to see if the pit fiend shows himself.
Can you guys all just sort of do like the
Oh, just like
Robert Palmer
Monica-
video?
Should we all just like strike poses?
Simply irresistible.
Do you want to give us instruments and we'll all like play something?
Sure,
Just,
sure.
like-
I'll play a little ditty.
Alrighty.
Just jam to
So
it.
there is a series of smaller buildings in the area. There is the main street that runs through here, and across that street is where there are many of the various slave blocks and larger platforms set. You guys find the entrance to this alleyway, which curves around behind you, and there is a large wall that leads to another section beyond that. And this is where you begin to set up, or where you're planning to set up shop. So you guys wait there for a while, looking about. You can see there most of the people here that are selling slaves there. Some of them are humanoids, some of them are like kobold servants, some of them are worse for wear, looking like they hope to get sold soon before they expire.
Jesus Christ.
you do see across the way what appears to be two young boys, maybe about 15 or so years old, light blue Scallon, no. Light blue skin and pupilless.
Pupilless.
Yes. They're held by red-colored chains, and they look kind of broken of spirit, and they're both just kind of
Can we
sitting
go
over
get
there.
them? Go get them.
Poor Nightcrawler.
Go get them and
Are they
see if we can
celestials?
get them.
Percival, you know all
I'm gonna
about
go over there and
celestials,
buy
aren't
these
those?
two kids for
Maybe
what?
then we can set them free once we're out of here.
All right.
What?
I mean, what?
No.
What?
Fucking leave them alone.
This isn't our fight.
Yeah.
But just
Stay on target.
Do you one of you want to go over there and just say hi, slave to slave?
yeah, I'll go over.
Yeah, sure. Go on.
Okay, Vex, by the way, your alignment's back up to chaotic good.
Oh.
That was the last little push there with that instant.
I murder an old lady walking by.
Oh, bad. Oh, goose.
All right, so what are you doing?
Welcome back.
I'll walk over with her
Yeah.
so it doesn't seem weird that my slave's wandering around, I suppose. I guess.
Yeah, talk to the guy, and I'll
Oh,
talk to the slaves.
They have an owner?
Yeah, as you approach, the two of them are kind of, the red chain around their neck and their arms, and they're kind of leaning over the edge of this small wooden platform, just looking kind of dejected at the ground. And approaching them, they do, the skin itself is like soft white porcelain with this like slight translucent blue hue to it. The white pupilless eyes. They look human, but they're beautiful and out of place here. And even in their destitution, it's still, you can't help but be struck by their presence. And both their chains are currently locked to this stump that is at the center of this wooden platform, and behind it you see this kind of grotesque-looking dwarf in very fine clothing that is very, very dirty and old, and he kind of stands there, clutching the edges of his lapel, going, "All right, you've got here before you two I found and kept beneath my will, for sale, with angel blood within them."
Hello. Hello, I am Slave Master Francois Australia. And I am curious about your two angel boys.
Well, if you're looking to purchase, these will both set you back about 10,000 gold apiece, or 18 for the set.
Oh, what can they do that I would be curious to find out?
What is happening? Whatever the fuck they can do, I don't know. I wasn't selling them for their skill set. I was selling them for their uniqueness.
How do you know anything about these boys? Where did you get them?
What's it to you, small one?
I like to see a chain of ownership, so I know that the previous owner will not hunt me down and kill me in the night.
There is no previous owner. I went and got them myself. The chain of ownership is this chain right here.
And he points to the one on the stump. You can see his like greasy black hair that's kind of parted in the middle. His like mustache that's put down in this kind of weirdly kind of fluffy beard that has its weird kind of oily portions of it. He's just an awful looking dwarf.
Yeah.
So, are you going to buy, or shall I wait for the ones I'm looking for?
Which ones are those?
Piss off.
Merci. Would you take 15 for both of them?
Your ears clogged. I said 10 each or 18 for the bundle.
Yes, but you do not seem to know where they come from, who they belong to before. It's a risk that is possibly worth 3,000 gold.
Make a persuasion check.
This is how Sam wooed me in 2008.
Is this persuasion?
Persuasion.
20.
Cash on hand? 15. Don't tell anyone I said that.
Wait. Oh, slave. Can I have the gold?
You're welcome.
I'm really Gonna do this?
I guess.
Yes, we're buying
I guess
them.
we're taking in everything.
They're so young. They're innocent.
And then we have extra slaves. It's beautiful.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fine doing business with you.
And he puts the coins away, pulls out a piece of paper.
And what's your full name?
Francois Bertrand Jean-Luc Australia.
And there you are. Transference of ownership.
Grabs the chains, unhooks them, takes the lock and hands it to you.
Says, they're yours to take. Are you to shove off? Do what the man says.
Do they have names?
No, it's your choice to name them.
Au revoir.
And so as the two of you walk back with these two chain
Yeah.
boys who kind of like just walk behind you,
Do you
looking
speak
kind of
common?
Yes.
How did he find you?
and they both look at each other.
It doesn't matter. It's you own us now.
It matters,
Let's
dear.
let's not have this conversation with them yet, sister, until all has been taken care of.
No, I see why we got them now. Even better bait.
Right. Just come and stand over with us.
What, sister?
This is normal.
This is what we
Over
do
here.
now.
This is what we are now.
This is what we are now.
This is the rest of our
is everything.
lives.
Grog, slap me really hard across the face right now.
Done.
He hits you and it's numb for a minute. And then you realize, why is the world sideways? He knocked you to the ground.
Oh, shit.
Sweet ignorance.
Do you need a hand up, brother?
I'm good.
Stop it. Stop right
Stop
now.
hitting yourself.
I'm
Stop hitting
taking off
yourself.
a hit point.
Oh.
On the Boy Scout method. 98.
Commit to the role.
So the two children follow you back. They're chained, and you have them in your disposal. What are you guys gonna do?
We're awaiting.
We're just waiting.
Customer.
Yeah. Guess.
Do we have the mansion up?
No.
Not yet. I'll say to the boys, you two, have you been for sale for more than a day or two?
He's had us here for 3 days.
And in that time, have you...
Sorry.
It's all right. In that time, have you seen a large red thing with big wings and...
They both kind of recoil.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Well, we just wait, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
Want to go buy a few more?
No,
Jesus,
no, sorry,
You
I'm
could
sorry. I
spend,
just...
like angels for sale.
Yeah, all the puppies and kittens. We're gonna have
Wait,
all
did
the
you-
puppies and kittens.
Did you drop a bunch of gold on them?
No. We got an amazing deal.
Like how much?
Like 50 gold. It was so affordable.
I want to do an insight check on that.
Go for it.
That's
ridiculous.
bullshit.
That's ridiculous. A triple advantage.
That's okay. Insight check. That's 22.
Make a deception check.
With my gold. How about with my gold?
Turds.
Yikes. No, I don't win.
She is lying through her teeth.
You're an idiot, and I'm very proud of you. Don't do that again.
How much did you dump?
Don't talk to me right now. Just don't.
Yes. What if I were to do a very strange accent? Does
No,
it make no?
it's also
no.
not attractive.
What if
None of
you-
it.
what if you-
None of it.
What if you were to talk like Vex?
Don't stop!
I have found.
Vex.
Just put, I'm your brother. Just put your hand up here like this.
Okay.
When you're talking to them, and then because Percival sounds like Percival.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
While they're talking, Keyleth, you notice across the way, the dwarf that they had spoken to and purchased these two from has like packed up his things and looks around, pulls a wand out, does it in a large circle, and him and his kiosk vanishes.
we fit right in.
Oh, see, look, there's a lot of pop-up vendors here, guys.
Good to know. So if you summon your magical room,
Maybe it'll be more impressive. Actually,
Makes
if you
sense
summon
here.
Can I survey the road in the direction of the embassy? Do we see anything?
Make a perception check.
Natural one.
Oh, man.
You look over in the direction of the embassy, and you stare at the embassy. And it's from this far away, it's hard to make out the shape, but
It looks like a letter.
You only know two. Pick one.
And I stay there.
G or an R. That's what you got.
That is so sad. That's so Ted.
I could try and scry on them.
Oh yeah, scry again.
Yeah.
Somebody else
You
wants
guys,
to check the road for.
I want to say there's like an alley behind us that we kind of set up in front of.
Yes, it's an alley that goes behind you for about 20 or so feet, and then it curves off.
Does anyone seem to be behind the alley?
From what you can see currently, no.
Scanlan.
Oi.
Do you want to come with me back into the alley for a little bit and kind of watch in case anyone sees? You can be just giving me a good, firm scolding just in case.
Scanlan should be visible at all times.
Well, I don't want. It takes a minute to do the scrying.
Vex, don't argue. We'll get through this. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go back with you so you
Just
can...
stand guard. I'll be right back.
I'll go look at, stand watch.
I kind of go back to the little dark corner and I pull out the scrying eye.
Okay.
Pike,
You can't hide.
Yes.
do you want to
No,
perhaps...
no, my name is Vex.
Vex.
Just kidding. It's
Sister. Do you want to perhaps do a walk around with the two boys and see if we can't attract some attention?
Pike. Sure.
We're splitting the party.
I'm not leaving.
No,
I'm
we
not getting
won't-
far, but I'm
We won't
going
go
to.
far.
I'm going to take the two boys with their chain.
You be careful with them.
I'll be very careful with them, and I'm going to say, don't talk to anyone, don't look anyone in the eye,
They're
and don't
younglings,
answer any
alright?
question without my permission. Do you understand?
Yes.
And
Everything's
don't
going to
be
be
scared.
fine.
Okay.
And let's just. I've got a plan.
Okay.
Follow my lead. It should
Okay.
be interesting.
All right. As you guys begin to wander off with the two
Not
boys.
too far, but yes.
Yeah. Keyleth, you hold the scry crystal in your hand, and as you focus, you see this flash of heat in your mind, and then darkness again. The spell has no effect.
Fuck sticks.
Ah, he's not even here.
Or he's blocking it somehow.
No, I bet he's in the fucking 9 hells right now.
Getting some money to go and come to the slave market.
Yeah, he's probably sold all the people that were like hanging out with him last
Just so
night.
you know, just so you're aware, the scry spell fails if they're not on your plane of existence, or if
Right.
they succeed their saving throw.
Ah.
So, you can try
What are
again
the
in
other
10
goals?
minutes.
I can try again.
So
Let's go first roll.
I'm going to look around for something interesting.
Okay. You begin to walk around, and you hear the barking of various heavy-throated creatures. You come across this large. It looks almost like a wolf or a dog, but the face is a little less pronounced like a wolf and a little more humanoid in the front, but it's still bestial and monstrous. The coat is gray and matted, and you can see these long fangs protruding. It barks and snarls, but every single time it reaches for the bars, and the bars themselves look like a flimsy wood. But as it tries to tear at them or bite, there's a spark of arcane energy, and it backs up and seems to recoil from the attack and begins to pace back and forth in its cage again.
Try and discern who runs this establishment.
You also see behind that there are two more cages that contain these very large insect-like creatures that have very long bodies with multiple legs. Looks like maybe a set of 8 or so legs, almost like an oversized praying mantis. The giant pincers in the front, but they are currently just kind of collapsed on the ground within their cages and resting in the heat. Behind them, you see an individual that appears to be a similar racial background as Sunakir, but is older with this kind of red and graying goatee that comes to a very defined point at the end of the chin, and is currently just sitting, sipping off of a wineskin and watching you.
Most humble greetings, good master.
I'll bow as well.
My sister and I have been sent by our owner to peruse the market for things that he might enjoy, and I have been asked to inquire upon the nature of what you are selling and your suggested price. Never making eye contact.
Very well. We have today, and today only, 2 on cakes for sale. Mind you, not bound. The will is yours to break. And 1 bargeist at the front. Prices. The on cakes for 500 gold apiece. The bargeist, 8,000 gold.
My master is always interested in creatures of unusual disposition, and he will be excited to know what you have for sale. I thank you for your time. May I please leave your I've lost my brain.
Yes, please, go.
I bow, I back off properly.
Oh,
okay.
What are you feeding me in this cup?
It's as time progresses and you guys have been wandering around, eventually the image does come across your mind as you wish to. Do you want to scry again?
Yeah, whenever I can.
Okay. Take some time. Still no success, unfortunately.
I'm making sure that the whole market knows that there's someone perusing and purchasing for unusual creatures, and making sure they see the weird twins and the 2 angelic. I'm making a show of it.
Right.
And I'm making a show of our non-chained obedience.
Mm-hmm. As it progresses, the actual twins, you notice far up the way to where the arches begin, you see a sight that you've been seeking this entirety. You see a large, deep red entity begin strolling down the street with its burling, rippling, armored muscles, its giant red wings flared out behind it, its horned head and crest piercing the sky behind it, as its burning eyes and fanged jaw and mouth. It lumps forward with each step, and as it does, you begin to see the essence of the necklace that had been described previously dangling around its neck.
Get back to the door.
Preemptive Jenga. Preemptive Jenga.
Showtime.
All right, we go back to the sales area.
We're not going to hurry. We're going to meander so that maybe we get seen.
He gets a glimpse, yeah.
All right.
Can I tell you something really quick? I am super impressed with you. That was very kind. That's it. Get ready.
As you guys wait in the spot that you've chosen, the pit fiend, as you rightfully designated at this point, begins walking through and slowly making its way through the crowd. As it glances around, you can see it strolling up to a few bars and kind of just like running its claws across them. You hear the sound of its very.
Stay close. There's nothing to it.
Thank you, Chris Angel. You see it running its claws across the bars with a heavy cling, 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 and it just seems disinterested by many of the creatures that it passes by.
Should I do something theatrical?
No, Sam's got it.
Sam's got it.
I'll play a song. I'll play a song like hot in the city tonight. Tonight.
Make a perform check.
23.
It begins to eventually cross paths with the alley where you guys are situated. And it kind of turns its head and looks down to you with your flaming beard and fire-wreathed head, playing your song. And it kind of like slows its gait ever so slightly. And it is an imposing and frightening entity. Even just being in its presence, even as you play the best you can, you feel everything almost slowed down in its proximity as its sheer immensity passes you, leaving you in its shadow for a momentary bit of time. And in that moment, you feel the back of your neck stand on, and all the hairs kind of immediately come to full point. You feel cold and alone as it sends its eyes upon you, and then it moves its gaze beyond and continues walking.
I'm going to walk by with the slaves.
Okay, so you come by the other direction. As you guys finish your meandering, as you walk by, it looks at the 2 boys that you've procured and slows.
I'll call out to Percy. It's no use
No one has enough money for our slaves. Forget it. We should clean up and go home.
Of course, master.
Of course, sir. We tried so hard.
The pit fiend has turned about and is just standing there with his arms crossed, watching this transpire, maybe halfway up to the block where you guys had set up. Its eyes narrow, the kind of bright spark of yellow light that situates where its face is.
Of the show.
It saunters up in your direction, looks over to where the rest of you are, and where the two.
He's going to
do it. Huh? Is he coming over?
He's heading in your direction.
Okay, I'll summon the magnificent mansion door, and I'll say to the slaves, "All right, it was worth a try, but we must pack it in for some."
As you're saying this, the pit fiend puts a hand up, and its mouth doesn't move, but you hear a voice pierce you deep inside your head.
Oh shit!
It says,
"Stop. I have discourse to make with you, small one."
But of course, I am here to sell if you are here to buy.
I have interest with your Asamir.
They are for sale for a good price.
I've already brought them into the mansion. I've already handed them off and said, put them very far downstairs. Hide them.
You bring them into the mansion.
Yeah, I brought them into the mansion and have put them downstairs. The servants are taking them downstairs.
We have already packed up for the day, but if this is a serious business proposal, I can go in and fetch them.
The creature kind of leans down towards you. The pit fiend's very presence itself, almost causing the air to vibrate around you. Though it is not the largest creature that you've faced, there is something about its presence that is purely evil and a bastion of power across all elements of the cosmos that you haven't had stare you down at this proximity. And as it leans forward, the voice once again pierces the center of your brain.
It would do well to bring them forth.
I cannot just communicate with them. Would you join me inside my shop? There you will see many other fine specimens.
What is your price?
Well, you haven't seen what I have to offer.
I have seen enough.
So you are not interested in the Naga, the Goristro, the other celestial beings, the orcs?
Make a deception check.
Even the devil. Come on, baby.
Come on.
31.
Oh!
Meow, meow, meow.
Perhaps in time.
Oh, fuck.
But now, I seek the Asamir in your possession.
But I did the air horn.
I do not see any, if you please, and with due respect, I do not see any jewelry or fineries on your person. Can you afford such prices that I will quote you?
As you say this, the eyes narrow and it leans back as its head cocks slightly.
Have you never done business in this city before?
I'm afraid that I haven't. But if you are serious, and it seems that you are by the way that you are not moving your mouth.
It leans walking away from you.
Right. Would you like to come inside with me and see them for yourself?
It has completely written you off and is walking northward back from whence it came.
Could throw a price out.
30,000 apiece.
Slows its gait, turns around. Keeps walking.
10,000.
Oh, shit.
And stops.
Whoa, what a
Turns around and starts heading back towards you. The voice once again pierces, this time even more intense, more oppressive. As if you've seen shadow. You've never really felt it inside you before, and the voice itself presses against your will, and you hear it say,
Your price is acceptable. You know the embassy is good to pay. Present the charges, and I will take them.
Can I come out and bow before Scanlan and say, forgive me, Master, for interrupting, but the female Arsamir is fighting back.
Well, I'm so sorry, sir. I must go deal with this. If you will, I don't want to make you wait here. You're clearly a man of respect.
I will wait.
And it just stays there across the way with its arms crossed about 10 feet from you.
I will be right back, I promise.
I know she is much more powerful than the boys, but we cannot control her.
Did she use the magic?
All of the magic.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I run into the mansion.
I would like you to make a deception check.
Come on,
you to make a deception check, please.
You need to inspire yourself. Well, no.
Can I inspire myself?
No. Yeah, you
Oh my god.
Can I after I know my role?
Yeah, that's part of what's good about
Oh,
it.
well then fucking yes, I'll inspire myself. That helps.
What'd you roll?
1.
Oh.
That's an auto fail.
No, you can't. Really? I rolled a 28.
Hey, she's good.
Well, as you charge in, and you're
27.
and you're staying outside of the doorway.
Yeah.
You watch as the creature staring at Scanlan or his persona talk to you, then charge through the doorway. The pit fiend kind of looks over to you.
Inside the mansion,
Yeah.
I run up to Grog and I say, cut me. Cut my face. Cut my arms. Cut me. Right now.
Okay, I'll pick him up by the top of his head, and I do like a 1, 2, 3.
And while I'm outside, I
you
say,
learn numbers.
could I offer you some refreshments, Great Master?
The voice echoes through your head in a way that is genuinely the stuff of nightmares. You feel your will crack slightly at its presence. It says,
And I also spit in your eyes so it starts to water.
Great. I'm gonna run out of the mansion. Oh my god! Oh, it's incredible in there. She is so powerful. She cut me with her mind. Please, come with me. I will need help with this.
The voice says,
Your deceptions are angering and useless. If there is no business to be had, I will let the embassy know, and you will not have business in this city ever again.
I slowly flex out my black wings, slowly, and lower them and take a step half covering you and say, Are you all right, Master? Do you need my help?
So I'll just say to the young man, all right, I am sorry to play these games and haggle with prices. I will go fetch them immediately. And I'll go in the mansion and I'll just yell, fucking Jenga! Fucking, we gotta go fucking kill this guy! Fucking Jenga! We gotta go kill him right now! Come on! Let's go!
Do you want to set up a... Well, we're inside.
Yeah, we gotta go!
Do we want to set up a sneak attack? Can we?
No.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Why?
Because he's outside, dude. I'm out there with him, so is Max.
Who's inside the mansion?
I don't.
I'm
we
inside the
didn't really
mansion.
specify.
yeah, you're in the alleyway still.
I'm in the alleyway with them.
Oh.
The twins.
How are the twins and Boss Man here arranged in the alley or outside the door?
The doorway is in the alley. It's like right where the alley meets the street.
Mm-hmm.
Keyleth is behind the alley. The twins are on the sides of the doorway.
Yes.
So you guys are just along the sidewalk, if you will, of the street. Grog is inside, along with Scanlan and Percy and Pike.
What's our proximity to him?
It's about 15 feet from you guys. He's across the street now at this point, with his arms crossed, keeping a distance.
15 feet across the street?
Yeah.
I can go out with the 2 angels, get him to come over and look at them at least, and then you guys can pull her out. I don't know.
Yeah, you can bring him out in front of the house if you want to, and then when he walks over, we can go
Sure.
get him.
The only thing that
I'll
I
bring him up.
potentially
Yeah, bring him up.
could do. Hang on.
Are you gonna? Oh.
I packed this just in case.
Oh.
You want to be an angel?
No, I packed Feeble Mind.
What does that do?
It could maybe work.
It's an 8th level spell.
Try it.
And it makes him
Can you look
stupid.
like an angel?
Just fucking cast
Well,
it
I
on
can
him.
make myself in a... Yeah, I could use Alter Self.
Bring the little blueberries out and let's start
Ooh,
this
can
thing.
you make yourself step out as the...
As one
As
of
the
the
kids?
angels. As one of the angels.
No, I said there was a female...
As one of the female...
Asimar? Yeah.
Asimars?
It's because you're having this conversation over your earpiece?
Yes. Of course.
No, we're in the... Oh,
We're-
shit.
yeah.
She's not.
I'm not there,
I was about to
sorry.
say, but you were in direct line of sight to the pit fiend.
So I'm not saying anything, I'm sorry.
Come
This guy has to make an intelligence saving
All right,
throw.
give me the... you do whatever you want. Give me the angels. I gotta go back out there.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you want me to try and make this guy stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
It's an
can,
intelligence
do
saving
whatever you
throw.
can. All I'm doing is trying to get him to stay long enough for you guys to do
Yeah,
something.
just get him to come towards the door.
I am going to, he's 15 feet away.
You're inside. Are you inside the
No,
mansion?
I'm outside
You're back in
the
the
mansion.
alleyway.
Yeah, I'm in the alleyway. How many feet away am I from him?
From him right now, about 35 feet.
Is he aware of my presence?
You don't know.
I'm gonna kind of saunter further down the alleyway. This has a 150-foot range.
Okay, so you pull even further back?
Yeah.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Ooh, that's good. 21.
Okay.
All right, I've got the angels.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
walking
God.
back out. Right?
No. I'm gonna be behind him.
Thank you.
Okay.
Buddies.
So Pike is coming out with the 2 Asamir.
I'll exit the mansion.
Asimar.
Asimar.
I'll exit
Asimar.
the mansion too and start walking towards the
all of
embassy a
this.
few steps
This is
slowly,
awful.
This
just
is
to
really
get
awful.
distance. Not bad.
It's gonna go bad.
Okay.
I get ready the minute... Well, never mind.
Okay. So wait, what are you doing?
I'm just going outside
So
with the 2
you
angels.
exit with the chain, the reddish chains in hand, and both of the boys exit with you. And as soon as they walk out of the portal and they see across the way the pit fiend sitting there with his arms crossed, they both you can hear like
Can
the
I-
breath escape their lungs as the fear hits them, and the pit fiend's arms go lax. You can see a bit of a smile on its face now, and it looks like its pensive frustration and waiting has been expended. And the voice says,
You will be paid.
All right.
Money first.
I don't know if I can bargain with this thing. Here.
As he
you got
goes to
chains.
hand over the chains, right as he goes to reach for it, I'm gonna do Feeble Mind.
People mind, okay.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Don't miss and hit me, babe.
Alrighty, what's the DC on this?
He's got to make an intelligence saving throw.
Correct. And what's your spell DC?
19.
19, okay.
Oh,
Natural one, natural one, natural one.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Alright. As it takes one step forward towards Scanlan, you, in the back of the alleyway, extend your finger and you watch as this slight shift of light kind of travels forward like a slight ripple, almost like a miniature breaking of the sound barrier, strikes across the air and seems to collide with the front of the pit fiend. As it hits, the energy dissipates, not affecting its form. You watch as the pit fiend suddenly, its attention.
He takes 46 psychic damage.
He does.
Was Scanlan just walking towards him, or had they gotten right up against each other?
I release Trinket from my crystal necklace.
Alright, so he takes...
Fuck.
And from the other
He saved
direction,
from it, didn't he?
I'll
He does
break
not
it
appear
to a
affected
run.
by the ability.
He's not affected by the ability?
I mean, he took damage. But the people mind did not seem to alter his...
Are there
my
any?
intellectual spell, guys.
Are there any
From
of the Afridi guards around? Afrit guards?
Currently, you do not see any. However,
Fuck.
let's go ahead and pick up this confrontation next week. It's 11 o'clock. If we jump into this now, we'll be here past midnight.
No, yeah, we're calling it.
Yeah,
we're calling it.
yeah. That gives us time to We just took too long.
It's all good.
This got wonderfully bad.
I'm gonna forget by next week. Is Scanlan walking towards him, or is
I was
Scanlan got right
standing
next to him?
Scanlan
and the
stepped
chain
out of the door and was holding and walked out just enough. Probably Scanlan's probably 10 feet from the door.
So
they're right behind him, just emerged from the doorway, and he's about maybe 10 feet from
So
Scanlan
not
and 15
adjacent
feet.
to
Correct. Yeah. And I'll set up the arrangement for next week. I'll put something together for you guys so you know what we're going to start with next week. But yeah, we're going to jump in next Thursday into a mid-street City of Brass
sextuplets
battle.
Sextuplet.
Oh, jeez.
Vex, and
Here's the one thing I'm going to leave you with because I
Oh,
feel
no.
this is important.
Oh no.
As soon as you guys watch this kind of slight dissipation of arcane energy splash across the torso and head of the pit fiend, and it kind of steps into its back foot, and you all realize this is the Jenga moment. As you're preparing to go into combat battle, you watch as the pit fiend narrows its eyes, and then from immediately to its left, a small localized gateway tears open, and out from it you watch a humanoid female with large red feathered wings, carrying some sort of glowing lasso or rope at her side, armor, and a large weapon with a bow slung across her shoulder that flies out next to the pit fiend. You rang.
Oh, fuck.
And that's what we'll pick up next week. So,
We're doomed.
Jump into the mansion.
we'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Terrible person.
Thank you, Ashley, for coming and playing.
Here next week.
You can't do that next week.
a letter.
Oh, you're filming Thursday?
Yeah.
No.
I know.
What you gonna be working on?
I don't know. Stuffs and stuffs.
Boo.
Yay, pie!
We'll get you that armor.
Okay.
Indeed. Well, guys, thank you very much. Have
Thank
a good
you,
night.
Luke
Rest
Ray.
well. Thank you, Luke Ray. And is it Thursday yet?
Yay.
See you guys soon.
For a little while longer.